Welcome, guys, to episode 3 of Voices of Enoch, Outriders podcast. I'm here today with Capo, Maffeine, Big Daddy, Palmerino, Pepperino, and Deli's here as well, being my timestamp guru. Thank you, Deli. There are a few topics we want to discuss. We will go over the patch notes a bit and a few inconsistencies that we have found with the patch as well, as a pretty game-breaking multiplayer bug / desync that is currently happening right now. That being said, Capo, you want to start it off with any topics, or should we just jump into Maffeine's first topic really quick that we did kind of discuss earlier, and then we can get to the patch notes a little bit later?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get to math, and then I'll jump into something that I wanted to jump into real quick.
Okay, that sounds good. Math, take it away.
All right, so we were kind of talking about it in my stream earlier, and when it comes to like balancing and stuff with developers, a lot of it's like pulled data and basing it off of like usage and success with usage and stuff like that. So something that we kind of went back and forth with for a bit was is the data showing up that these builds that we all view as like overpowered, like Ash Blast, Bone Shrapnel, what we feel is overpowered because we know how to use it properly, is the data like skewed and showing otherwise because people are seeing streamers, YouTubers using these builds and not able to perform with them. So is that where these buffs are coming from? What do you guys think of that?
Yes, 100%, 100% yes. I think I've said this before. I promise you, if they release the data, I promise you that CT15s are not the most cleared.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you like a 13, maybe 14, and that's maybe pushing it. But I bet you anywhere between 12 and 14 CTs have the most clears. I'm willing to put a kid up for that. You know what I mean? Um, and
So
that's obvious. And you have to understand, like, I don't want to go into my topic too much, but you have to understand that, like, less than 5%, and that's even a lot. I'm willing to say, like, less than 1% of the community is knows really what. I mean, I'm being far fetched, but not a lot of people know what to do. Not a lot of people really honestly know what to do. They have to, like, a lot of people learn by watching streamers, specific certain streamers, right? A lot of people learn by watching possibly speedrun videos, which those don't even get a lot of views. So, like, they don't know, man. There's more people that do not know how to play this game correctly than there is that do. There's more people that don't want to run Ash Blast and wants to run something else because they read the mod and they think to themselves that that's cool and they want to incorporate that in the build, and they just don't want to. You see what I'm saying? So I think 100% that's it. That's why we have these buffs. If you ask me, 100%. Like, you can't tell me different because I can legitimately argue counter um that there's people that me and PlayDoh have sat here sometimes and discussed, and we'd be like, look how many people are asking you this question. To us, it's like, yo, it's a no-brainer, it's common sense. But look at it. Look at it. And if you really want the answer to that question, just pull up Reddit and start reading Reddit. And that'll tell you everything.
I'm gonna have to take a gander on Reddit someday and see what's up. And do you think there's like a and this is something that's been mentioned plenty of times too. Do you guys think like the descriptions on some of the abilities and and mods could be like maybe reworded to make things more understandable for some people?
I mean,
Would that help?
the entire game needs another look at the wording, honestly, because I'm
Mhm.
pretty
Yeah, I was
sure
gonna
there's a
jump in here
problem
real quick.
with the
Yeah,
translation, probably like a
yeah.
language barrier that's limiting the understanding of certain skill
Mhm.
nodes and mods.
Correct. I mean, Big Daddy made a good example of strong twist, right? How it could be worded better to actually let people know what it's actually doing. Uh, just because people will think that increases 15% of your firepower, whereas it's doing it off of the anomaly instead of the actual like firepower that you have on your character, because it's based on twisted rounds, which is anomaly based.
Yeah.
But that being said, there's so many translation issues for certain
that
mods in the game as
translation
well.
is I totally agree with you there. That's 100%. I promise you, if you look at Reddit, like let's say today, and then look at any kind of streaming platform and what has gotten more views, I promise you Reddit will demolish any Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, any streaming platform. And you add all the platforms together.
I wouldn't say that's true, right? With YouTube.
Nah, I promise you. I would even say YouTube. I promise you.
Nah, I'd argue casuals don't know about Reddit, but know about YouTube.
I bet you they don't. And
Reddit
I've
that
had
big?
yes, I've had viewers. I've had people DM me and say, "Wow, man, I didn't even know that there was like those kind of bills on YouTube. I'm usually just scrolling through Reddit." Numerous.
Okay, but that's a very specific audience. Like, come on.
Bro, I'm top.
No, Capo, I'm gonna slightly sap the cap there too, because like you can go on Reddit,
Nope.
and I guarantee you, there's gonna be a video about a Borealis set with like 5K views.
But where did
That's
they get it
just-
from? Where did they get it from? They got it from Reddit. They didn't
Oh,
go
oh,
directly
no,
to
no,
Did
no,
they
YouTube.
no,
know?
no,
Did
no,
they
no.
know, or did they get it
No,
from the
Capo.
algorithm?
They went to Reddit to get the information. They don't like what I'm trying
Well,
to
that's
explain
assuming
is, like,
that's assuming they post the video on Reddit, right? Like their build
Right.
video on Reddit. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Which
But-
a lot of
but
people
there's-
don't do.
right.
I know we're going
But
off
there's
topic here,
more-
but
Yeah, but there's a whole lot of more people in the world, and I'm telling you, it's. I didn't believe it also, but I had to think of one myself as an individual. What did it take for me to finally find Twitch? What did it take for me to finally find YouTube and legitimately go in there? But like 100%. I didn't find Twitch till like 2 years ago. Like started watching streamers to learn stuff 2 years ago. I'm 37. I'm going to be 38. That means I was 36, 35, 36 years old. But I knew about Reddit for years. And I would read about 2K and MLB The Show. And the only reason I found Twitch, the first stream I ever watched, his name was Like Butter on Division 1. And I found it because of Reddit. So what I'm trying to explain is because I've seen it happen to me and I was an individual that didn't really go in. I'm telling you that if someone doesn't do the streaming platforms, I promise you there's more of them that reads the Reddit, and if they find a streaming platform, they will find it because of Reddit before they go on YouTube and do it themselves.
I mean,
promise you.
I completely disagree on every single point you made there. Like,
Okay.
there's way more people that don't even look at Reddit, never will look at it, and just write Outriders build on YouTube, on Google, and where does it send them? Send them on YouTube.
Okay.
Some rando video. Like, you're just wrong, straight up.
You think so? So then
yeah,
why
yeah,
did
yeah.
I
I think so
why
too.
did I find it 2 years ago? Why did I find Twitch? 2
Because
years
Capo,
ago?
you're a boomer. But let me
Okay.
say it this way. Let me say it this way. On Reddit right now, on the Outriders subreddit, exactly right. There is only 691 current users. However, the whole subreddit as a whole has 120 active people that have subscribed to it. Which let's be honest here, there's
120,000.
not 120K people active on the subreddit anymore.
Active.
Like
Right.
average, there's like 500 to 800 people on the subreddit. So I agree with Big Daddy here. It is a
Okay.
YouTube market for a lot of these build videos, because if you look at the Outriders Discord, I would argue the Outriders Discord is bigger than Reddit, right? And a lot of people post their YouTube content in the Outriders Discord, myself included, in the fan made section, and that links everybody directly to YouTube. And they never like post anything about Reddit underneath like their description or anything right now. YouTube's just a really big platform. Reddit is just like Reddit as a whole, that people access Reddit is also a huge platform, but for different subreddits, it's very completely like niche worthy. You're not gonna have a bigger market for your content than YouTube. Because if I was new to this game, the first thing I would do is trickster build. Where would I go? YouTube. What would I do? I would filter it by like maybe newest video as opposed to the older videos, right? Because I want to see what the
Right.
most current meta kind of
Mhm.
builds are. And
Mhm.
that's also where there's a lot of disconnect on YouTube as well, with people just posting random ass shit there as well, you know.
Okay.
Where and to kind of circle back to Matt's topic about like why these changes were buffed, I think a lot of times people do go on, like, you know, it all stems from YouTube, people watching creators on YouTube like me too, et cetera, and try to mimic their build. But there's also some misinformation on YouTube in general with builds, or people just posting unoptimal builds as well.
I got a question. Where does Outriders pull their information from when they post it on Twitter?
You mean
Not
where do
sure.
they link it? Is what you mean?
Where do they put it? So
Where do
last
they link
video.
to? Where
Where,
do they link to? Yeah, they link to
yeah.
Reddit. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So that means they got that information from Reddit. So whatever YouTube video that is up, they pull from Reddit, right?
What?
Right.
No, I'm saying the Outriders Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they deliver patch notes, they link to the Reddit. That's what I'm saying.
No, right. But when they like post anything on Twitter, when they post like, "Hey, check out this new bill, how this is killing it," blah 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 blah. Where's that link lead
Oh,
you
okay.
to?
You
It
mean
leads
when
you
they
to
do like
Reddit.
some
Yes, it
community
leads
thing?
you. Yeah, it leads you to Reddit because that's where they're pulling the information from. I'm just letting you know that
I mean, sure, but
I
isn't that a
know.
massive problem, basically?
No, because
That like one
I'm
of the
trying to tell
biggest
you that
problems
I
of the
know. I'm trying to
company?
tell you. Listen, I'm trying to tell you that I know that there's more people that get information from Outriders from Reddit than what they would do from YouTube.
I mean, currently, sure, currently that's entirely possible, but in the grand scheme of things, during the entire life of the game, that's not true at all.
Yeah, yeah, Capo, you're kind of
Okay.
spitting
All right.
some.
Don't worry about it.
But
Yeah.
to my point that I wanted to make real quick, I don't know if you noticed, but how is it that basically their entire community page is Reddit, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the companies, they link to Twitter, they link to Reddit. Why don't they have their own site? Why don't they have their own, place to put their patch notes and their news? And that doesn't make sense.
A division is like that. You got to go to Reddit to find the patch notes.
And they
Unless
don't
you
have
go
their own
into
site. They don't have
no,
their own
you
site.
don't go. No, unless you go.
I think, and I just want to
Unless you
interject.
go to well, they kind of do if you count Ubisoft, and then you got to go into Ubisoft, and then you got to like sub thing all the way down to the division, and then if you pull up the game, it'll be like news, and then it'll say patch note, but once you click on the patch note, it takes you to the Reddit page.
Just to add on this, they should just put it in their client. Like just when you launch the game, it should be there.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, they did it with the new patch, but it's like a pop up, and it doesn't go into detail like this. I'm just thinking of other games that just do it in their client, which is just the best way for everybody to get the information. Because we're playing the game, we're launching the game, you want to see those patch notes. You can see it there.
I mean, no, Capo. I'm looking at Div2 site, and they have their own site. And, everything looks kosher and normal.
But that being said, we should bring it back to Maff's original topic about just, because we went a little off topic here, is just
Sure.
about how they got the data to buff these meta builds, just because maybe, they see people using these mods and they see that they can't complete the expeditions for X, Y, and Z reason because they don't understand what they're doing with the build. And I suppose that's its fault of the YouTuber / content creator that is posting these builds without a proper explanation as well.
Right. So real quick though. Yeah. That's like I told you. Big Daddy. That's the Ubisoft page, and it leads to the game. But then if you click on the patch note, it takes you to Reddit.
I mean, I'm clicking on. We're going way off topic there. Sorry.
All right.
But I'm just, I'm there. I'm on the side. Okay. I mean, I don't see any link to Reddit. I don't know what you're speaking about.
Oh, then yeah, I need to.
Too off
find that
topic, guys.
video.
Too up off topic. Too
So-
up off topic.
Sorry.
Okay, so
sorry.
I guess kind of venturing back. I mean, like I was talking about like in-game data, right? Like they have like charts and stuff and all that. Like I would assume they have, like most games do that have any sort of abilities. Like I know Apex Legends, like they and which is PvP, but like a lot of their balancing is based on usage rates and pick rates and stuff like that. So, I mean, is it based on that? Is it based on all the activity they see on YouTube and Reddit? Like where are these numbers coming from that they would use to determine what needs buffed, what needs nerfed, what needs this and that? What do you guys think?
That comes from like what they see people playing. You know,
From in
that's them.
game, or where are they seeing people? Like, how are they seeing this info?
Oh yeah, they've got, you know,
They
I'm
got
not sure how
analytics,
it's
bro.
called. Yeah, analytics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
They have
Yeah.
analytics, bro. That's on them. They see how many times if they put in your name, they see how many times you've logged in. They can tell you how many times you've killed Coliseum's fucking brood mothers. They got all kinds of crazy ass numbers, man. They'll tell you, hey, you've played Pyro for 3,000 missions. You've played Techno for 7,000 missions. You know what I mean? Like those are analytics that they can come up with. They know what people are using more. That's like when they dropped and they said that Trickster was the most used, and then they said which classes were the most used, and they had them in category, how many people downloaded the game, how many brood mothers were killed, how many times the captain was killed. Like those are all analytics that they get, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything, right, the buffs are them confirming that the game is hard, right?
Right, absolutely. Because like, and I think we've touched on this before. Like we've agreed that we already know people have come to us telling us, hey, we can't fucking complete a CT-15. Like we can't do that. And then what do? We help them, right? We give them a carry, we help them out, we give them some things, and then everything basically ended when once everybody had everything. And once they got everything, and they fit and they learned, right, with running with us so many times, they learned, and then guess what, now it's like I could do it on my own, but I'm bored of it because it's easy. I wanted to play when I couldn't do it, and now that I can't do it but I don't need anything, what's the purpose of doing it? You know. So
All in all, though, I don't think it's a bad thing that they buffed these buffs. I mean, at the end of the day, we can criticize them for just a little criticize for buffing the meta builds, and like Big Daddy said, that could be them, and we're assuming here, seeing as their content being too hard, because maybe that's what the analytics shows. Like I think Capo said, maybe people are just the average people that are still playing this game can only clear like CT 11s through 13s, not even 14s, and
yeah,
that's either in a solo or group environment.
yeah.
So at the end of
The
the day,
one,
I'm not gonna say these buffs were bad. Like I welcome these buffs, and
yes,
as a very 1% niche speedrunner slash just someone who enjoys to go fast, buffing these the time rift mods where it makes you go fast, buffing Ash Blast and Death Sentence that makes you go fast. To me, I welcome it, and I have no issues with any of these buffs at all, personally.
Yeah, I mean,
Hopefully it's more buffs coming as well.
Buzz has a good point there, which is this patch is basically one of the best they've ever made, right? Like they've actually fixed a set, and they've made noticeable changes to mods and
Well, I don't want to give this patch too much credit yet. For solo play, I would agree. For multiplayer, I think this patch has made the multiplayer experience non-playable, at least to me. But
well,
we'll
sure,
get to that later.
I mean, yeah, sure. I'm just saying, like, in terms of scope,
Oh yeah,
it's a pretty
100%
great patch, and
best patch we've gotten.
hopefully they
yeah,
keep at it and get a better track record going. You feel me?
yeah. I would say that anyone that thinks that is dumb that they did buff the meta, I would say stop being selfish and thinking about yourself. You need to understand that there's a whole lot more people that play this game, and those individuals are not at our level.
Sure, but I'd say that's unfair because the problem with buffing the meta, right? Like I said, right, the game is hard, and their response is to make the builds that people use stronger. That's completely fair. But the argument to be made is that these builds
Mhm.
are usable to some extent, but other builds aren't, right? So why are they spending their time buffing these builds, which are okay, instead of just bringing up
Because it's
none
not
of
about
stuff,
you.
right?
It's not a but yeah, but it's not about you, me, PlayDoh, the 1% guys that can do it by themselves.
Well, sure,
And
but the
once
only
again,
reason, right, the analytics show that everybody's using those builds is because
but they can't do it though.
everybody everybody's telling them to use those builds because they're good, right?
Yeah, but if
But
they can't
other
do it,
builds, if other builds get better, right?
they
People
still
can
won't
just
be able to
swap.
do it. They
But no,
still
that
won't be able to do it.
sure, sure, sure. But my point, right? There's an argument to be made there. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like they
Uh-huh.
could have buffed 100 other things instead of the meta. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so then I would ask you this. If they would have buffed everything else except the meta, what would that have resolved for the team? For Outriders. In a business aspect, in a dev company business aspect, what would that have done? Would have still been able to complete the CTs because other things got buffed? We're talking about business
Well,
aspect.
sure, sure. No, no, no. But I understand what you're saying. But my point is that, right, just making those stronger is not the only avenue they had at making the game easier, is what I mean, basically.
Mm, okay. Okay. Yeah. I think yeah, no. I think buffing the meta so that way they can like legitimately be able to do something. I think that would have helped. I think for like the past 2 days, it kind of got people engaged. Like, oh shit, I could probably do something right now. And I think that's about it. You know what I mean? That's why I mean I I definitely understand what you're saying. I have to look at both sides of the fence. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Like before I would say, hey, this is bad or I don't agree with it, I have to be like, well, you know what? Fuck. I can't just think about 5% of the community. I got to think about 100% of the community. That's like speedrunners. Who really cares about speedrunning? Really, nobody really does. To be 100%, as much as I enjoy it, as much as I want to get back into it, no one really enjoyed it. I got a YouTube video that has like over 5,000 views, and it's a build video, and I could put up a speedrun video right now, and that thing will probably get maybe 200 views. They don't care because they they can't do it. They'll think it's cool, but that's about it. You know what I mean? And I think it falls a bit
Oh,
into that factor.
I'm sorry. What are you speaking about now? I'm sorry.
Oh shit, man. Damn. I remember everything I said.
Fucking
like
Capo scuffed.
Uh-huh.
I feel like the speedrunning thing and like as impressive as it is, it's a very niche
Yeah,
area of
people
the
don't
game.
care. They
Well,
don't
Yeah,
no, but
care.
and
right. That's not the problem. Like going
They
fast.
don't care.
We don't really like nobody's angry that they buffed the meta and suddenly the speed runs are going faster, right?
Oh yeah,
Nobody is
no one
saying that.
is.
Okay, no one is saying that. We're just questioning like that these buffs. We're just questioning them, okay? Because there could have been other buffs in their place. Is the only point we're
Yep,
making.
Yeah,
yep. That's the only point we're making too.
yeah, but
Like
I
buff
would
firepower
disagree with that.
pyro, like for example, buff firepower pyro, it's where it's a little bit usable if they want build diversity for every class. Buff AP trickster a bit more, so it's a bit more usable for build diversity.
Right.
What's another class I'm missing here? Technomancer. Make AP Technomancer actually a thing, so people can actually use the rockets. Like make the Grim Inventor set actually work. So
Right.
when it's like even in solo, the Grim Inventor set, you're doing like 20-minute Coliseums. Like you take that to a 3-person party shooting rockets. Like I've seen people run that build. You're literally shooting an alpha for I don't know 2 minutes before you can kill the darn thing.
Yeah.
What are you going to do when a broodmother pops up? But that's the only thing we were questioning, right? I'm
Yeah,
extremely happy with all the buffs they made, but
same.
Right.
and
But
I'm
But
saying like
actually,
these
I
buffs can
think
come in the future as well. I just find
yeah.
it a little
yes.
odd that they would buff meta first when people have been asking like I want to like I would love to play a Grim Inventor set with rockets and go ham. 100%. I would love to show everybody
Right.
that. Why don't I do it? It's garbage.
Uh-huh. So I would go like, and once again, like I understand what you're saying. But I feel like you guys are just not understanding. Like that makes absolute sense, and I'm not saying that people don't have an ask about that. But when we're talking about our communities, and if we put all of our communities together collectively, we're still barely above 1%. We probably won't even be 1%, right? And then I go back to saying like, even if we do that,
Sheesh.
you're still gonna get people playing the game, but they still won't be able to accomplish the goal, which is clear a CT15. So then what good would be to making those things? When yeah, maybe 120 people are the only ones that could clear that are still in the game right now. Maybe, right? Only 120 people. If there's 2,000 people, right? Steam says 2,000 people played Outriders today. I guarantee you maybe only 150 could complete CT15s alone. That knows what's meta. So what would be the purpose of that? So we can sit here and show it off, but then they still won't be able to do it. I would see it as, I look at it as, yo, they're trying to use these builds. They can't complete the missions. So you know what? Let's buff it. So that way they can complete the missions. And now they can do it on their own and they can use meta on their own. And they don't need to be going to this and now or complaining about they don't have people to play. They can do it on their own. Now let's worry about once they can get this, once they start running, now we'll start giving them, hey, you know what? Here's something new. Here's something else new. Because like I said, I understand you guys, and I'm just giving you a different perspective to look at and be more understanding. Like we have to understand that there's people can't do it. They just can't. So why not buff so they can do it? Because if you buff something else, they still won't be able to do it. You're gonna give them a firepower pyro when they can't even get through a mission with a firepower techno? For what? What would be the point?
I mean, ultimately, it's up to the developers to decide how hard the game actually is, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, I get what you're saying, and that's the point. That's the point I made earlier as well. Is like the buffs will make it easier for everybody,
Yeah.
but you got to remember, right? Should everybody be able to do CD15s solo? Should everybody have the ability, right, to play perfectly? Maybe not.
Eventually.
No, maybe not, right? Maybe they want their game to be hard.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing to have your game be hard and CT15 be this, harder content, right?
Yeah.
That's not a
Yeah.
bad thing. So that's my
Yeah.
point as well is, do you need to make it easier for everybody, or should you make it where they have more avenues and maybe they have more success on a different avenue, right?
I would
Right?
agree with you there. I agree with you 100%, give them more avenues. But another aspect that we have to take into consideration is the type of generation and society that we're in. What do people want? They want meta. Give me the easiest way to do this because that's what I want to do. That's why people go on YouTube. I guarantee you 100%. You get one person right now and they be like, and Yuck could put up one of his theory craft builds and like, oh shit, okay, yeah.
Well,
And
that's
then
exactly what I'm
and then
saying.
no. But and then PlayDoh will go up and PlayDoh will be like, hey, this is the meta build. I promise you, you're gonna get way more that wants the meta to go faster. Just to do it that way over a different avenue of approach. But I know I understand with you. I totally agree with you 100%. I agree with you.
I mean, yeah, what I'm saying basically, right? Maffeine gives a point about the casuals, but I'd say that's
Yeah.
like exactly my point as well, right? Is they're buffing the meta, and everybody left is, I guess, playing the meta is our theory there. But before all of that, right? Before the player base completely died, the amount of people that never looked at a build and just did whatever they wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's my biggest point about this is that
Yeah.
they need to make somebody walk in the game and making whatever he wants work, and that's not at all the case, not even close
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
being
you're
the
right.
case. Like, they just need to, or at least there's more, right? Like, you try a
Yeah.
couple things, but you find something that works at some point. But right now, you're not gonna find anything till you go to fucking YouTube and run a meta build, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
massive problem that they have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some of the info, yeah, and there's just so much misinformation out there. I mean, I guess that could be said about like anything
Oh
these
yeah,
days, but
yeah,
especially with this game,
100%.
my God.
Yeah, that's a facts.
I do have to agree though. I haven't seen this much misinformation on a video game on like
Oof.
YouTube in I don't as long as I can remember.
And some of it is even done by some other by some
Starts with an
ambassadors.
A. Yeah.
Yeah, some ambassadors. Some of the information is even being done by the ambassador.
Is that a sorry for telling me there's a patch when there's not?
Ooh, that didn't come from me. That don't come from me.
Yeah, fair. You didn't say the word, so fair.
Yeah, you didn't say the words. True, true, true.
Fair.
Fair.
That don't come from me.
You baited my ass, though. I'll tell you that.
When? When did I bait your ass?
Oh, it's okay. I'll stop. Sorry, I'll stop.
No, I mean, let me know, please. Enlighten me, because if I did, then I would correct myself. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Maffeine, do you want to talk on this subject?
Yeah, come on, please, by all means.
What
Or
about this subject?
okay, maybe not.
what what about it?
Well, I
think it's
mean, I think yeah. I mean, we shouldn't know. Sorry. Next topic. Thank you.
We're talking just the hints in his stream.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly.
But when did I
But
when did I steer you wrong?
that's what. But I think that's like kind of what he has to. I don't know. I feel like that's an important thing for him to do at this point, like as being like the
Mm,
what would you say, the community ambassador at this point, the one that's
mm. The only
you know
one
what I'm
that gives
saying?
out information.
Yeah. Literally the man for the man for the people.
And
Yeah, no. To be fair, you're right, Maffeine. I'm sorry, Capo. You're completely right. I should, the
I'm
patch
just
did
saying.
come as well. The patch did come in the same week, so I guess
Mm-hmm.
you were right and I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I love you.
No, you don't gotta apologize, bro. You're fine, bro. But like, all right, I'll wait till Maffine is done talking. I mean,
Hey,
done with this subject.
oh no, that's really all I had to say about it. It's just like you're pretty much like the only
No,
person that's like even
yeah.
even able to, I guess, put the, even if it's a hint, but like
Mm-hmm.
that's like a big at the same time that's like a
Big no.
it's a no and it's got to be kind of a pressure, a bit of a
Mm-hmm.
pressure.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it gets a little bit, but we're gonna get to that point because there's a lot, like there's some things that I think I want to like make known to the community, like, but we'll wait till you're
and
done with your whole subject.
and to wait and to go to that point, Capo, we will get to that, but it will be the last topic, and you want to know why it's going to be the last topic we discuss? Because we're going to clickbait our viewers to stick around for a juicy topic coming up after we discuss some of the patch notes as well.
Okay, go ahead.
You got to
'Cause,
save the
yeah,
best for last.
Before
it's gonna be pretty good.
can I just make a little last point on the casual thing?
Yeah,
Yes, you can. Please do.
But yeah, I think Buzz has a great point on this, which is that most people just whip out whatever they want, right? They look at items, they see shiny items, they see shiny
Yes.
skill points, and they click them. They think up some synergy, and it doesn't work, right? So I
Yep.
think they need to do better there. Honestly, like the core problem of the game, so just the
Mhm.
casual experience is not that great.
And I'm at fault of that too, because that's why I came looking for you, and I brought some information in, which what you did. You corrected me. You was like, "Hey, hold on, you're not reading right. Why the fuck would you need that?" And I was like, "Oh, I wasn't reading right. I just saw something and I got excited about it." Remember, I came into your stream.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gonna
Yep.
happen, right? People are gonna
Mm-hmm.
make mistakes. People are gonna misunderstand things. That's okay. But when it's at the level where you need to understand so much about the game to make it work, that's a
Mm-hmm.
problem. That's a problem for the casual players.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. 100% agree.
Then that gets overwhelming, and then if you don't have like an info source to like fix that, then you're probably like frustrated and you're like, I quit, screw
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Especially if you have limited time to play, and that's
Yep.
that's a lot of the casual players. You know, they have a couple hours after
Yep.
their 9 to 5.
Yep.
I just want to quickly shout out our boy Nick too, because if it wasn't for him, I probably would have been misinformed so much about this game, to be quite honest with you. Because there was a lot of content creators I was looking at when this game first released, because I had literally no idea about it. And I watched
Mhm.
a few content creators' videos, and it only really sounded like Nick knew what he was talking about, so that's why I stuck with him.
Facts.
And it was a great experience to have him still be playing the game when I was interested in, because right now the Twitch scene isn't that huge, right? I would say the YouTube scene isn't that huge for this game anyways. So there's a lot of small streamers and small content creators like myself that we post out these videos. And I'm just gonna say that like the build videos that I put out, they've been like thoroughly tested. They work very well, and I do my best to explain it, but not have it be too overwhelming. Just for like a general build video, because people will start losing interest if they see like a 40-minute video on a build. But I can't say the same about other content creators that I've seen post, builds and X, Y, and Z. But that's all I wanted to say about that. Shout out to Nick too. We miss him.
Yes, we do.
I mean, yeah, the thing with Nick too is he was, a fact-based type of guy. Like, I think that's why I gravitated towards him personally, right? He understood the idea that what works is what goes fast, and he just stuck to that idea. And I think, I guess I understand the idea that you don't want to. Not everybody wants to go fast and whatever, but I mean, at some point, you gotta admit that not going fast is, if you go so slow that you don't even clear, that's a problem, right? So yeah.
Great way to transition to our next topic, which is just to go over the patch notes. I think we can spend like, let's see, we've done 36 minutes so far. So we want to keep it within like 2 hours. So we have about an hour and a half left. Capo, how long do you need for your section?
Oh, no, my is gonna be quick. I'm just gonna make
Gonna be quick?
sure we have
Okay.
we have a good solid understanding.
Sounds good. So I guess we can spend as much time as we want on this, and if there's any other topics that people want to discuss and we're spending too much time on this, we can definitely bring it up as well. But I guess we can just start with the patch notes, and let's just go with like the few things that they mentioned here, the crash fixes, and then especially this is something that I really wanted to touch on, was the improved multiplayer so that rubber banding and packet loss should now be reduced for players under 350 ms. As far as the crash fixes goes, from my personal experience, I don't know if they're working or not because my game has still crashed consistently since this patch. I would like to know a little bit more detail which crashes they fixed, because I'm still getting the crash where you shoot something at the end of the expedition and your game crashes, although very rarely. And I've had some crashes where I'll just be doing nothing and the game crashes. So a little bit more detail into what those crash fixes would be a little bit nicer for us to know. But that being said, I'm sure there's more crash fixes coming along the way as well.
I will go on a limb, and I think it's only like those startup crashes. Because whenever I kind of asked questions about it before the patch, they were really mostly talking about the startup crashes. And now the startup seems like it's really smooth, but like you're right, they still crash during games. So
But yeah, I don't think there's much to discuss about that one specifically. But what we can go into a larger discussion on is, and maybe just like 5 to 10 minutes as well, is the improved multiplayer so that rubber banding and packet loss should now be reduced for players under 30 ms. And I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit so you guys can see it. I actually noticed this immediately at how it didn't improve the multiplayer experience when I first placed off host with Palm. I would be somewhere on the map and then I would directly be rubber banded and just teleported like behind a wall or just completely not where I was. I did actually, I did actually post this on Reddit with the YouTube video that I'll show you in just a moment, and the Arcan actually did reply. So there's gonna be a good chance that they fix this up ASAP, or put out like maybe a hotfix patch, because it really is, in my opinion, has ruined the multiplayer experience for me as a whole. If I'm not host, if I'm playing off host, I am not having fun getting teleported around. And here's a brief example of what's happening. And I'm sure everybody that has played off host is also have been introduced to this as well.
Oh yeah, right now speedrunning is
a no go.
I'm just gonna put this on a loop a little bit so you guys can see what's going on.
But yeah, basically what's happening, right, is the position it shows you at is different than the position in the game, right?
Uh-huh.
And for whatever reason, the desync fix seems to enable even if you're below 350 ms. Would be my best guess. Like, right, this would be normal to happen in a high lag game, but this is not a high lag game. There's not even a bar.
Correct.
So this is definitely like a product of the fix they did, right? Just not being implemented correctly, definitely.
Exactly, boss. That's the thing as well, because we're definitely under 300 ms here, like Big Daddy was mentioning. No yellow bar, no red bar, nothing like that. Stable connection. So I'm connecting to Dhawson here in Utah, and I'm here in Washington. So max, I would say I would get like 60 to 70. Like we're under the 100 ms ping department here for sure, for sure. But yeah, right now, to me personally, if I'm not host, I will not be playing this game off host for a multiplayer experience.
Are you salary link the clip?
Because this isn't fun. Oh, there's another POV as well. Hold on. Let me bring that let me bring that POV up real quick. But you guys can discuss while I bring the POV up.
Yeah, they need to definitely fix that. I mean, there's no other way. Also,
I also noticed immediately when I was playing with Maffeine. I don't know if you remember.
I actually noticed immediately, and I'm surprised people didn't say nothing in my chat when I joined PlayDoh. When I joined PlayDoh, immediately testing it. The very first game as a pyro, I'm like, wait a minute, why the fucking can I not move? So
yeah, I was playing techno with Maffeine, and I started warping to walls. And at first I was like, okay, I guess they fixed something, but it's not that bad. But then it just kept happening, and I just realized they definitely broke something.
It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. So I think I think we just need to definitely take a look at it. Just give them. I mean, like, hey, this is something you guys have to test. I mean, obviously, if you guys are playing it and it works just fine, but there got to be a way where you got to have somebody in a different country, join you guys to make sure that this is, you know what I mean? If it's working correctly, if they're doing that or not. But yeah, that was definitely one of the first things I noticed once I joined. Yeah, see, Ubi just said it right there. But yeah, that's big time. I think that's where they took a step back, actually.
Yeah, that's actually pretty huge game breaking
Yeah.
bug. It actually, like I said, it makes the multiplayer experience unplayable. And if you're a speedrunner, if you're a speedrun, then it's definitely just not happening.
Please mute it, by the way, because
Yep, I'll mute it. No worries. Just give me a second.
I'm kind of acting a little weird.
It's okay. So here's another POV. It's a little dark. That's just a symptom of the cause. So we're gonna explain what's happening in this clip. All right. From Big Daddy's POV, look where he is. All right. Look where he is. From Dhawson's POV, Big Daddy is directly behind me. All right. Big Daddy is directly behind me, and I'm the pyro right here. So watch how this clip unfolds. Watch when the game catches up. What happens to Big Daddy here?
Wow.
Yeah, like right now we're stacked up perfectly on Dhawson's screen.
What the fuck?
Hey, and look what happens.
He just got, boomed, like
What?
just TP'd in the
Teleported.
perfect position. Yeah.
Yeah. I was pressing W key into the wall,
Yeah.
and it TP'd me out there.
Holy shit.
So this is the
Like,
kind
who was
of
the
stuff
host?
that the host is seeing. So
Dhawson.
Dhawson was the host. Yeah.
Dhawson,
We
yeah.
tested this on Big Daddy as host, and Palm experienced this when I was host. Capo, you experienced this when I was host. I experienced this when Palm was host. Big Daddy experienced this when Maffeine was host. And if it's happening this common, everybody that is not host is experiencing this problem. 100% of the time, it is reproducible in every single game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, sorry.
I was gonna say I had an occurrence that was like it wasn't necessarily in game. It was after the expo, and Siler, Ubiquitous, and I were trying to get a picture of the three thrones, And when I was trying to place my throne down next to them on my screen, I was at this awkward angle, like 3 feet away. But on their screen, I was perfectly aligned. Like even off host emote placement is off right now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
something as basic as that.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking, right? Is like whatever fix they implemented is just enabled all the time instead of just at that 350 ms, right? And for whatever reason, your position is like completely different than on the host.
Mhm.
Like it's pretty crazy.
I've noticed like the Moaning Winds animation even is like way off.
Hold on. Wolverine says he only wants to play Pyro off host. Do you, Wolverine?
Yeah, because of
Oh,
the
yeah.
Moaning Winds bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Moaning Winds issue right now. We can elaborate on that too. I wasn't going to mention it, but we can definitely elaborate on that as well, Big
Oh,
Daddy,
I
if you
mean,
want
it
to take
just
it.
shows, right? Shows
Just leave that one alone.
one of the other problems with the
Yeah,
multiplayer, right?
that one's not going anywhere. So just
I mean,
you don't worry about it.
Arkin, then Toby mentioned it recently in Reddit.
They did. I can actually pull that up. Give me 1 second.
Yeah,
keep discussing, by the way.
because it's an interesting topic, but basically, right? It's pretty much confirmed. No, I will say this is 100% confirmed that Moaning Winds will do different damage based on if you're off host on or on
Yep.
host.
Yep.
That amount is
Yep.
confirmed. Some people have
Mhm.
been saying that happens with other things. I don't know. I haven't tested any of it, but I will say this Arkin did mention as well that Fortress and Moaning Winds were in a weird position.
Position. Yes.
Okay,
In a
here we go.
weird
I have it up.
position.
So this is in response to someone putting, can the devs please look into Moaning Winds being broken when off host? And here's the reply. I'm just going to read it word for word to anybody that's on mobile and can't actually read this. So the Arcan replied in regards to Moaning Winds. He said, "Hey there, thanks for bringing this up again. I've raised this issue with the team a few times, and each time the reports have led us to finding and resolving an issue related to what was being reported. For example, we fixed a bug relating to Gravity Leap, when another bug related to blood donation because those were being inconsistent in combo with Moaning Winds. I raised this again with the team, and for us to hopefully try to ignore all other variables and try to get a solid reproduction of this occurring on our staging and test, and only in relation to host and client." And he said something about side amusing. What happens, however, if it turns out that the bug is that the clients are doing 2x damage, that its output is indeed higher than what it should be, given that Moaning Winds is already OP and overused, which they know the data. Okay, so quickly,
They
go off
know.
topic.
They know.
Giving that
OP, by
Moaning
the
Winds
way.
is already OP and
OP.
overused.
Yeah.
Bone Trap OP overused. Time Rift OP overused.
Yeah, I mean,
Ash
that
Blast
shows,
OP.
that shows
That shows
a
they know.
disconnect. That shows
Yeah.
a massive disconnect.
Yeah,
though,
that
right?
shows a massive disconnect there. Okay, okay.
Mentioning that
Scratching that
Moaning Winds
topic. Scratching that topic
overpowered
entirely.
and then buffing meta. Guys,
Depending
come
on how we resolve this issue, players might see us as buffing an already OP skill. Okay, now we can't. Okay, maybe we can go back to that a little bit. Okay, until I finish reading this. If we fix to give more damage or nerfing a meta skill if we fix to reduce damage. No easy answers, unfortunately. I do hope in the future to be able to open discussion around Moaning Winds and Fortress, though. I think most folks are aware that they are in a weird place. But like Big Daddy was saying, this is really showing the disconnect of what was buffed. If they know Moaning Winds is OP and overused, and players might see us as buffing an already OP skill, which we did in the latest patch,
Mm-hmm.
or
but,
nerfing a
I mean,
meta
let's-
skill.
No, let's
but yeah.
Let's table that point.
Yeah,
it's
let's
just
table
20
that point for now. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but doesn't matter. That's not the point of the
Things might be buffed that
of the
to us
paragraph.
might be
No, please
overused.
stay on it, PlayDoh, stay on it.
Yeah, stay on. Oh, stay on it. Sorry.
I don't know. That I kind of question. I kind of question how many people are really running everything that they buff now. I kind of question it.
Sure. But no, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, we're tabling that point. That's
No, we're
it
gonna
was
table
just
that.
a-
We don't need to go off topic on that again. We can have a fuller discussion on it later. But it's been
we
talked
need-
about
we
too
need-
much, to be
we need to
honest.
speak about this massive problem, though, right? Because
Yeah.
they're basically admitting that false Moaning Winds is doing more damage, right? And there they have a problem, right? Is which situation is bugged? Is it bugged on off host or is it bugged on host, right? Which damage number is the correct one? And I mean, let's be real. My best guess would be that the correct damage number is on host, right?
You're right. The correct one is on host and the bad one is off host.
Right. That would
That's
be
what
my
I
best
yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know for sure, but that would
Yeah.
be my best guess. right?
Yeah.
If you take that into consideration, right, if they do fix it, making it do less damage on offos, would you argue that's a good enough nerf, right? Because I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to do that, right? But do they need to touch it more after that? Is the question.
I think at this point, what do you think is gonna be the what do you think is gonna be the outcome? Do you leave it alone? Do you nerf it? Or do you buff it? What would be the outcome for each of those scenarios?
Oh, well, I don't know about the outcome. I know what I would want personally is for them to fix it where they reduce the offos damage, if that is what is bugged, right? If it's bugged
Right.
like that,
Right. But
then
I
yes.
would ask you. So, some people would think that that's a nerf. Some people
I
would
mean, it
say,
is
"Oh,
a
they
nerf.
nerf."
It is an
Right.
indirect nerf. Yeah, it is, sure.
Yeah. So, like, how do you think the community is gonna feel
I
about that?
mean, like you just said, right? Moaning Winds is overpowered and overused. And I agree with that statement. So, personally, if they do indirectly nerf it, I think that's fine. But then the question is, right, do they want to nerf it even more? Is that what he's hinting at, right?
Okay. What about? Well, they ain't gonna buff it. He already says it's OP. At this point, really, I'm just like, just leave it.
Nah,
Just
no, no, no,
don't
no,
even fuck with it.
no. That's the worst thing ever to do in a looter shooter
Here,
damage
here's
based
here's
game.
here's
Having
here's what I would
decent
say about
season.
this.
No,
If
no,
they
no.
can figure out how to fix it, sure, but it's not something that I think should be on their table to fix ASAP. If I'm going to be completely honest with you,
Mhm.
no one's going to
Yeah.
complain about Moaning Winds doing more damage off host. At least I'm
Nope.
not. Okay.
Sure,
When they
but
can
it
fix
does
it,
bring up
great.
the question, right? Is how many
Yeah.
things interact that way?
Exactly. And
And
that's something that we will never
Right.
know, Big Daddy. That's
Right.
something I've been wanting them to tell us for such a long
What
time,
does
but it's
that
just not
say?
going to happen.
Right? What does that say about the fucking multiplayer experience in general? Like, it's just, it's not a lot of good things coming that way, is what I mean.
I mean, let's be honest. What does this say about all the speedrun records too? I mean, if the devs are fine
Oh,
in a
no, but
in a
that's
game
exactly
state like this,
exactly
then
what
I
I was
guess it's
gonna say,
legal.
right?
Yeah.
Exactly what I was like. If they do fix it, that does change the speed run, whatever. Doesn't really matter to anybody. Don't take me wrong, but I'm just saying, right? I don't care about that, so why should anybody care about it?
Those
It's
records will
just
probably never
interesting.
be broken again.
Sure, well, maybe not. Not for
Well,
me,
maybe
honestly.
not. Depends what they buff
I'm-
and fix and change around. Yeah.
No, but my
Honestly.
point is, right, if I don't care about losing the alphos bug abuse, right, then nobody should, is my point. Because
Yeah.
I actually have something, in it. Most people, they're just playing casually, so. Because it should be consistent, right? Like, you should have a consistent experience through any session of the game, and it's just crazy to think
Exactly.
that that's not what's happening.
I mean, just like with the whole consistency surrounding all the other mods that we know don't work off host, like Toxic Lead, for example, just comes to mind because it's been here for
Phoenix
so long.
Force.
Phoenix
was
Force
recently
as well.
discovered also. It's really a buggy mod and it doesn't work at all in the way it's described.
Either Time Rift or Pain Transfer. Either Time Rift's a buggy skill or Pain Transfer is also a buggy mod because Pain Transfer damage doesn't apply a good amount of the time too. You're kind of just RNGing. The best way I can describe it is you go to Dr. D, you Pain Transfer him and the two elites, you keep it to Dr. D and you do damage on him. Sometimes Pain Transfer does like 50 damage, sometimes it kills both captains. So not sure, there's, and that's on host, by the way. That's on host. That's not even off host. So how many mods aren't working on host either versus probably a lot less mods. I would say a lot of mods are working on host more than off host. But there are still buggy mods on host versus off host as well. But,
But I mean, to you,
baby steps.
Point, sure, it's not really hurting anyone, but I just think it's a.
I think Moaning Winds is working
questionable.
off host than it is on host.
I just think it's just very questionable all around, right? That's even a thing. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. Like, I feel like just undervalues the entire game if things like that exist.
That being said, we can quickly go over some of these other changes. So the anti-duplication system stuff. I guess we can just leave it as it is. I mean, I personally can't comment on this, and I don't think any of us can because we're all fully built here But it says the anti-duplicate system will no longer take equipped items into account when checking whether to reroll a drop duplicate. Fixed an issue that would cause Pyromancer's Thermal Bomb to lose all charges and enter full cooldown if a player was interrupted while casting the skill. Awesome. Improved targeting of the Trickster's Vendor's Knife so that it should now more consistently target a player's intended enemy. I've heard reports that this is still buggy and that when you target a behemoth, it'll just target like a Profero next to it still. So maybe more work needs to be done on this. Fixed an issue that would cause the Hunt the Prey to not turn the player around and enemies back. This, I will gladly say, has been fixed. Fixed the Technomancer's Borealis Marnik set to now correctly grant the 90% damage increase to frozen targets. Amazing. Resolved an issue with the Devastator statue set and changed its description to match its behavior. The new description is, while Tremor or Golem is active, increase firepower by 100% and weapon life leech by 100% for you and your teammates. We don't have to worry about what the old description was, but we're going to take a quick pause here and have Big Daddy discuss the Devastator statue set in more detail. And I saw your YouTube link, and I'll pull that up when you're ready.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's pretty simple, honestly. Basically, they did fix to some extent the statue set, right? They fixed the interaction with the Perseverance and Golem Squad. So now statue correctly gives the firepower during the duration added by those mods. But after my testing, obviously I'm just one guy. I tested real quick, but from my testing, Golem of Death does not interact correctly with the statue set, and basically any duration added by Golem of Death will not give you the statue set during that time.
And to people that to the people that don't know what Golem of Death is, it is a mod you get on Golem's Limb. It is a tier 3 mod.
No,
it's not Golem Death.
no.
Sorry. I don't know shit about Devastator. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. See you later.
Golem of Death is a tier 1 mod, which adds 2 seconds to the duration of Golem after killing an enemy.
Yep, that's exactly what it does.
So yeah, basically, right, the way I tested is I went to frontline, popped the Golem, looked at my firepower. Okay, then I killed a couple guys, looked at my firepower again, and it was down. So yeah, basically the interaction.
How long did it last?
I mean, I didn't check enough to know the exact duration that statue worked, but I just know I had Golem up for a long ass time and statue not working.
Good. I'm gonna actually quickly play this video here.
Yeah.
Here it is.
You can look at the video, Capo. I had Bloodlust on, which is why I'm at 214, but
Right. So you're 161. Got it.
Yeah. So I'm at 161 right now, and I'm just showing I got Column of Dead on my gloves. All right, so I'll start the expedition. All right, so first thing I'll do is I'll pop my Golem and check my firepower.
For 299. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you can see statue set work there, giving me bonus firepower. Then I shoot a couple guys. I'm just shooting. Stacking.
You can see on the bottom that Golem's duration is getting extended.
Stacking up Golem of Death. Then I kill the last dude, open up the inventory, and boom,
214.
Doesn't work anymore. That's Bloodlust. That's Bloodlust. Okay, it doesn't work anymore. Doesn't work. And now look, it's still active. Boom.
And when it down,
doesn't work at all. Doesn't work at all anymore.
I would ask you to remove Bloodlust.
Sure, but
so that way you could see fully.
Sure, but even then, right? You've seen, right? If I'm at 299 and then it goes down to 214, right? It's because something stopped working, and that you said.
Right, but I would, so that way they have a full understanding, because that.
Sure. I mean,
they look at that.
They can fucking test it themselves. Honestly, that's my opinion on it. But I'm just showing that it's pretty easy to replicate that it doesn't work like this.
Now, can I ask this question, Big Daddy? And I asked you this earlier. Okay. Now, if they don't run Golem of Death, the statue set is working correctly, as far as we know, or as far as you know.
I mean, as far as I know, sure.
Yeah, but not having Golem of Death, I think, is I don't know anything about Devastator, but when Big Daddy told me it's a required mod to make everything work.
It's not required, but basically, right? Think about it this way: the idea behind the build is getting the most value out of the statue set by having to only use one skill and keeping up that one skill the whole time, right? That's basically the whole idea behind the build. So if Golem of Death doesn't work with it, then that build doesn't work. So I'm not saying that can do another trimmer golem boulder dash build, go for it if you want. But statue set does not work in this interaction.
Thank you for explaining that, Big Daddy. Because, yeah, something that needs to be known and something that needs to be submitted for a bug report. And as far as submitting things for bug reports, I had a pleasant experience yesterday. I'm going to bring this point up really quickly. With Diablo 2 Remastered, where I could just submit a bug report in game. Granted, it's beta, but I assume that feature is going to be around even when the game launches, right? So that players can submit bug reports. I just wish there was a consistent way where we could report these bugs to PCF, because Square Enix going through Square Enix support doesn't work. And sometimes, I'll go to Reddit and I got the Arcane to reply to the multiplayer one. But it would just be nice to have an avenue for people, that do the testing for everything when, the patches come out, to be able to go and, post a bug report somewhere that is monitored. And I know, just as simple as that.
I'm just going off on a limb here, but maybe the old experience with Reddit would be better if it was better moderated, maybe.
I don't know. That's just
so,
Oh, we're gonna talk about that later. Don't worry about that. Put that one on the table.
I'm just thinking.
Put that one on the table.
Put that one on the table.
There's a lot of bashing heads happening on Reddit. Not
that
a
is
lot
true.
of it is productive. You feel me?
That's a really good point. It's a really good point, because I don't spend a lot of time on game specific subreddits for that reason. It's the moderation is really bad, and it just turns into it's just generally salt mines and just a bunch of negativity. And if you go to just a general gaming subreddit, where people talk about game recommendations and stuff like that, it's well moderated and it's a lot more positive.
Sure, but not only that, but you got to think about it this way as well. As you look at the subreddit, and 70% of it is
Negative.
Anybody just posted and started writing a paragraph.
Yep.
And it's right, and that's a problem that should be easily fixed, I personally think. Right, because if the content is more curated, then the comments will follow a bit more.
Only if we lived in a perfect world.
Yeah, that's why I said a bit more.
Yeah.
Because I know it doesn't work like that, sadly.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. PlayDoh's typing.
Thank you. Oh, could you guys hear that? That I was muted. Oh no, you didn't hear that. I was just typing.
I see you. I see you typing.
Fix an issue that could cause low damage threshold mods to trigger immediately after death or respawning. Maybe P-Shield comes to mind for this. I haven't tested that out. I do need to do some testing on that. I've just been a little bit distracted. Fix an issue whereby players who are level 50 would appear as level 1 while in a party. Note that this issue may still be visible while in a lobby. Not fully fixed, because it can still happen in-game as well. Fix some out-of-sync subtitles. Honestly, whatever. The buffs to Pyromancer were made. We're not going to spend too much time on these. But I think Palm can elaborate a little bit on the volcanic round sports, because I know he tested that. The Feed the Flame ones is completely ignorable. A 7% increase isn't going to do anything to get rounds back with Feed the Flame, so we can just gloss over that real quick. But as far as the volcanic rounds go, I think the resistance debuff by susceptibility doesn't really matter either. But the reload boost and lava shots is one thing I wanted elaboration on. And Palm, you can just spend a few minutes on this if you wanted to, or maybe not even that long.
What kind of elaboration did you mean?
Does it work? Does it don't work?
Oh, does it work?
I mean,
does it work?
Lava shots. Oh, yeah. It's if you're not using that, use it. It's really good. Really, really good. I did Eye of the Storm yesterday with it. It's really, really good. No.
What about reload boost? Did you test reload boost, Kyle?
Not because it's hot ass now.
What does it even do now?
It gives you AP when you reload.
What is it? 40% AP?
50. I think.
Okay, yeah, but when you lose rounds, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think it's 50% AP. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you could do an interesting build with it, where you use a Kari set with that mod and rock anomaly enhancement to gain more AP from your heatwave stack, so you could gain firepower. But it's an interesting what you could do.
Yeah, well, I try to I try to make like maybe
Ubiquitous says explain why though,
Firepower.
because volcanic rounds do they scale off AP? So you might want to elaborate that a little bit,
Yeah,
Palm.
No, they don't.
they do not.
There you go, Ubiquitous.
But if you
Just
want
to
to
be
do a
clear,
firepower build like that, okay.
Every single round skill works the same way basically, which is they pierce armor and hit resistance. Anomaly enhancement, Ubiquitous. He's talking about a theory crafted build where you'd use
Yeah.
attack AR with anomaly enhancement with the Akari set basically. And I did try something very similar, but basically, right, the time you're casting your heat waves and then shooting, and it's just not like the gameplay pattern of the build is horrible.
Yeah, like you do decent damage, but the gameplay, like you said, is not good at all.
No, you meant with reload boost, Ubiquitous. You meant with reload boost because Lava Shots
Yeah.
now gives FP, firepower, which by the way is a massive change. Lava Shots is
Yeah.
the only thing in the game that gives percentage firepower, which is a massive mod. If they ever give ammo regen to firepower, watch out. Firepower pyro.
Watch out. Yep. If we could if they ever added a T1 or T3 mod or changed the T1 mod that said volcanic rounds now give even 20% ammo back. Even 20% ammo back. Make it a T3 mod just like Twisted Rounds. I would definitely be playing volcanic rounds prior because even 20% is something.
Like using them, if they had a 20% mod like that, I mean, I'd definitely make a case to using Feed the Flames then,
Yep.
Or they could use like 40 or 50%, but on Ash, since Ash is
Yeah.
like a worst status,
Yeah, that'd work.
right? Because that way it's like a kind of gameplay thing, right? It's not just. I mean, sure, boss, but if you want to play Lucky Jinx and have no AoE, I guess, right? But it's kind of it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a viable build out there for it. It's just not something
Sure.
I would run personally. But yeah, with bosses, Lucky's Jinx, with Toxic Lead, and big asterisk on host only. By the way, on host only. You could use Toxic Lead and Improving Bullets with Lucky Jinx, and have that ammo regen with Toxic Lead and Ultimate Bullets working together. However, it's still lacking AoE clear, and better yet, still lacking a lot of damage without the thermal bombs to boost.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the dream would be making a firepower pyro build without thermal bomb. Like that's the dream.
Yeah, that is the dream. Without thermal bomb, because thermal bomb really slows like how a firepower build really works.
Well, it's also kind of a crutch, right? Like let's be real. You're elite killing crutch basically. So yeah.
Yuke has a question if we want to answer that, or we can save it for the Q&A. Yuke, we might save that for the Q&A. Can we save that for the Q&A, Yuke? Or
let's just leave it for the Q&A.
Yuke, ask again when we go to the Q&A for that one, yeah? That being said, let's move on to, well, I guess we can quickly gloss over Ash Blast. Even with knowing nothing about Pyro, great change, works amazing. Use it.
Great change. Breakers are dropping left and right.
Yeah. If you loved Ash Blast, you're gonna even fucking love it more now. You're gonna even fucking love it more now.
It's not that I want FP Pyro to work like Techno. It's that I want to play FP Pyro without the crutch of Toxic on my gun to get ammo regen and thermal bomb to kill elites, and that's just what I mean. Like,
still a fun build. Because I have played this build. Like, I don't showcase it on stream. But yeah, I played this shit off stream a lot.
That broke the meta in the Eye of the Storm. Like, we're not saying your build is useless. We're just saying we would do something else maybe with it if we could.
Yeah, I mean, as it is right now, boss. I play it off stream in solos, but I think that's the only I'm thinking in, maybe I'm being a little unfair. I'm thinking in like a double hard scenario, right? Like double hard carry scenario. If I was to take a Lucky Jinx Pyro into let's just say Boomtown with 2 underleveled people, I'm gonna have a hard time. I'm not gonna have fun playing the game. But if you're in a scenario,
when he was playing with Maffeine, he was blasting. I'll give him that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. But to be fair, when you are playing in a group of 3 and everybody is fully built, it is a build that works.
I mean, Boz, I feel like you're always overhyping your builds. You know, no offense.
Boz, I'm gonna shut that down just a little bit. Boz, I would like for you to go to Boomtown with me on a no item character and Big Daddy on a no item character and clear Boomtown gold with that build. That's the challenge that I want. That's the challenge that I want. Sorry. I'm just saying. But I'm not saying it's a bad build. I'm saying it's a really fun build to play.
Maybe you are overselling your builds a bit. Maybe.
I mean, it's hard on Techno too, boss, but it definitely isn't as hard, right? I could definitely do it on Techno, but I definitely couldn't do it on Pyro.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's easier to do it on Techno. But we'll move on from this. Borrow time on Trickster. I've never really used borrow time, so
it's a pretty massive.
I can't say anything about it.
I mean, it might be interesting for an AP aggressive teleportation build. You know, didn't try it out though.
Yeah, haven't tried it out, so I really can't comment on it too much. Slow Trap, personally, I haven't tried it out, so I really can't comment on it too much as well. Time Rift, however, this is something that I did test. I didn't test a little bit of Pain mod because I don't run AP Trickster. I only run Firepower Trickster. But as far as a little bit of Pain goes, I would like to see somebody do more testing on it to see if it actually works. I did see a Reddit post on it, but I don't know how accurate that Reddit post is because I'm always wary of Reddit post build theory crafts in general. So maybe, you know, Big Daddy has some time. He can see if this is any good.
You're speaking about a little bit of Pain?
A little bit of Pain, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, in its previous iteration, it was literally useless and did 0 damage. So, you know, I'm not hopeful, but we'll see.
I hope there's a Slow Trap meta. I'd be fucking down for it. I personally love using Slow Trap. Sorry. I love using that ability. I use that ability all through the campaign and even through some expeditions. No, boss, I'm not joking. I want Slow Trap to be fucking meta, dude, in some way. Or because it's a fun ability to use, man. Like, I mean, what is Rifleman when you have Slow Trap? Riflemen don't exist.
Time Rift and AP builds, right? You don't have that easy fucking, that easy just shoot the guy right there and spread the damage, right? Like, and also, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure there's an interaction where Stagger will get enemies out of Time Rift. I don't know if you noticed this, PlayDoh.
One more time.
Stagger will get enemies out of Time Rift.
Yeah. Oh, yo. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah,
it's probably what's happening in my Boomtown runs, to be perfectly honest.
If Pyro walks up to your Time Rift and Moaning wins, everything drops down, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So that's basically the point of a little bit of Pain, right? Is to make maybe an AP Time Rift build more useful. So I'll try it out, but yeah, I'm not very confident because last time I tried it, it was barely noticeable, basically.
Another one was increase the armor resistance and debuff provided by the time crack mod to 35%. I've never used this mod, so I can't comment on it. I don't think a 10% increase in this mod is going to make it viable in any way. But I could be wrong. Big Daddy question mark?
It's just bad.
Just bad? Okay, that's all I need to know. However, increase the weapon cleave damage provided by Pain Transfer mod to 20% damage, previously 10% weapon damage. I did feel this. While I'm not going to say it's going to make Time Rift that much OP'er than it already has, it's just a 10% increase, and you do notice it in solos, but I don't think it's not game breaking to help your players at all, to be honest. It's a welcome change, it's a bit more damage. I haven't had actually a chance to test my Trickster build in a group of 3 yet with these new changes, so maybe in a group of 3 it'll be a little bit more helpful, that 10%, because their healths are also increased by like, I don't know, 100% more than probably 100% in a group of 3 versus duos and trios. But definitely something I will need to do a bit more further testing on. But in solos, I did notice it just wasn't as big of a buff in solos, right? Because it's only 10%. But in groups of 3, I think it's going to be even more noticeable. Because to be honest, in solo, like the previous 10% damage was really enough to clear with Time Rift at what you needed to clear. That's all I can say about that. As far as Technomancer goes, Pain Launcher. Reduce the base cooldown of Pain Launcher by 10 seconds from 40 to 30. I've never run a Pain Launcher build, but hey, lower cooldown, and it's a buff. I'll take it. Scrapnel, reduce the base cooldown of Scrapnel by 5 seconds to 22. from 5 seconds, from 22%. From 22 seconds to 17 seconds. That's kind of huge. That's something I have noticed when I was running Scrapnel. Is it's seriously up, 5 more seconds more, which means you can use it that many more times in an expedition. So a buff to 30% damage, heck yes, when you're running top tree. Although I know there's a Scrapnel based build on Technomancer. I don't know how this buff would apply to that specific build because I have, no inclination of ever trying a grenade Scrapnel Techno build. So maybe with somebody with more knowledge on that can shout out and make it known if it works or not any better with that build. And then increase the base damage of Scrapnel by 19%. For AP build testers out there, let me know because I think that's kind of a huge damage increase on Scrapnel.
From what I heard, the cooldown makes it worse. Well, not worse, but basically because you had 6 to cast, right? You had 6 channels to cast. I don't know, some guy was saying he had a harder time getting his combo out now or something, but the damage is not enough, basically, right? The damage is not enough, and the cooldown didn't really matter. It wasn't a problem, the longer cooldown, so it didn't change much.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, to all you AP build testers and theory crafters out there, this is a great opportunity for you guys to go in on these builds as well and see if it makes a significant improvement, or like Big Daddy was saying, maybe that cooldown actually made that combo harder to cast. I wouldn't know because I've never tried an AP build.
No, I'm not saying I'm saying it needs more damage than anything. That's what I mean.
It needs more damage than anything? Okay, but I mean,
the cooldown
that's with a lot of AP builds. Yeah.
That's what I mean. The cooldown didn't make it better by any margin, really.
Oh, black card. Actually, that's something we'll get to when we get to the Devastator section, which is after the cryo turret. Which honestly, I think we can just ignore this. I really don't know what this is, to be honest. Yeah, it's just I'm just gonna skip it. Yeah, I don't know.
Just a mistake all around. The idea of scaling damage off a different stat. There's I think Feed the Flame. There's a mod for it that works like that with Kill Leech. It's just it's just a bad design. Personally, I think.
Boulder Dash for Devastator. Let's move on to that really quickly as well. Using the skill now will provide significant 65% damage reduction during its animation. Players can now press and trigger again to use an AoE attack during the run animation. So has anybody actually tested Boulder Dash in an AP build? I'm sure it hasn't because the patch just came out 2 days ago.
Not on an AP build, but it does trigger though. It does work. That whole triggering system 100% works.
Now, will this make Boulder Dash more available and people use it on builds? And what would be its purpose? Would its purpose be to actually use Boulder Dash as a main damage source, or kind of activate it and unactivate it just for that cooldown you guys were talking about a few podcasts ago?
I personally think to activate it and unactivate it so you could get the possible 70%, right? More weapon damage that it gives you if you go FP wise. That's what I would use it for. I don't know how much damage it does as far as AoE. You know what I mean? I don't know how much damage it does. I never really looked into it.
The problem with Boulder Dash basically is Moaning Winds. Because Moaning Winds is so strong, going Boulder Dash is you're just locking yourself into an animation to do no damage.
I couldn't tell you. Once again, I utilized it for the FP build. I saw the difference. The 70% was insane that it gives you.
Yeah. For an FP build for sure. Now it's better.
Yeah, but outside of that, I couldn't talk to you about it.
Yeah, no, I can confirm that. Right, just like UB is saying, the problem is there's just no use at using it for damage. It's just not good enough in any way. So rip.
Yeah. Yep.
Moving on to Endless Mass. So this is something that I want to talk about personally. Endless Mass. Enemies affected by Endless Mass can now be damaged and killed during the animation. Change the Y. Okay, let's start with that one first. So I think maybe this is another translation disconnect.
No, it's not. It's already been taken care of. You can put it on the table. I will address that later.
Okay, so it's not a translation disconnect. So what was happening when I was playing with Blackheart, because I really wanted to test this because he loves his firepower Devastator builds. He just loves Devastator a lot. And while we were testing this, anything he endless masked, I would be putting bullets into it, and they wouldn't be taking damage at all. And they would also have like a weird resist effect text that would pop up. If we go back to my VOD, I'll try to pull it up and come back to it later if you guys wanted an example. But currently in its state, this is not working. So anything that gets endless masked, I mean, it's working sometimes. It's very inconsistent. Like I tested it with blighted rounds and without blighted rounds, and it was more consistent without blighted rounds active than with blighted rounds active, but that kind of just defeats the whole purpose.
Right, well, you're gonna continue to talk about it, so I will touch on it. They already know what's wrong with it. It has a hitbox issue.
Oh, bet.
I already confirmed it. I already did my job, but like I said, you didn't want to listen. You wanted to keep talking about it. Yeah, I told you leave it on the table. It's a hitbox.
I didn't know what that meant. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a hitbox issue. They are aware of it. I've already confirmed it because when you used it, every time I used the Moaning Winds, it worked. It never failed to work Moaning Winds on it, right?
Yep.
So obviously, is where you shoot. It has a hitbox issue. They're on it.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say what they mean is they're not invulnerable anymore. But you're right that you can shoot him.
Yes.
Thank you, Capo, and sorry I didn't get the hint because I'm scuffed in general.
But yeah, I mean, let's bring up Endless Mass. I think Endless Mass is a good skill.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can be hard to use, but as a AoE grouper, it's very strong. The problem is you don't really have a spot to put it in any build right now. So hopefully the fix is coming.
Yeah, I'm kind of honestly, I'm very curious to like once that issue is figured out and you can just sit there and he runs around endless massing everything, and all you got to do is just shoot that. Like, is that gonna be a thing? Like, is that gonna be beneficial to you guys?
No.
Like,
I mean, what it will be beneficial for is bringing up the AoE of Devastator in some way, right?
mm-hmm.
Firepower Devastator specifically.
Yeah, but doesn't
Like,
slap give you a buff?
Yeah, it can give a buff as well.
Okay,
sure.
okay.
But is it worth it, right? Is it worth it to go all the way to use Endless Mass and to use it to debuff when you have something like Despair and Gravity Leap, right?
I would just, like I said, hey, it gives people another option. Something that you brought up gives them another option. They can have fun.
Well, I mean, like I just said, I mean, if they fix statue set, I definitely see an Endless Mass Firepower Dev working.
Okay.
Just like with statue set not working, you just lose your damage like that, and suddenly whoop.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty hopeful though. Pretty hopeful about Endless Mass. Hopefully it becomes good again soon.
Perfect. You're muted. We don't hear you.
Thank you. Change the Wide Horizons mod so that on top of the range increases, the mod will allow Endless Mass to ignore the enemy skill Absorbing Skin used by Alpha Furrows and Broodmothers. I haven't tested this. Has anybody in the chat tested this, or Big Daddy, have you tested this as well?
I mean, I didn't test the interaction with alphas because I was not gonna waste my time with that. But like the mod is hot. Like having a massive Endless Mass is pretty hot.
Nice. Blackheart also says the Wide Horizons mod works in the current patch, and I believe him because he's a dev connoisseur. Reflect bullets. Ending the skill early will now refund a part of the cooldown up to 90%. Is this working as well?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, it motherfucking is.
This has become a is this working or not patch review real quick.
Yo, yes. Like literally, I think if you go back to the VOD, you see me activate Reflect Bullet, and that cooldown just goes zoop, zoop, and I'm like, holy shit. Endless amount of 45% firepower damage or AP. That's all you, whatever you want to choose.
Yeah, but you have a dead skill. That's the trade-off.
I mean, fuck it.
You have a super ass garbage skill.
Fuck it.
Nah, I don't think there's like
I would rather.
I mean, there is maybe a situation where like you go into a monster map with a Devastator, AP Devastator, and you just spam it for the node. I guess, but like you're literally using like so much tankiness from actually
So,
using a skill like Golem. Like,
so you would give up Golem to
yeah,
that
yeah,
kind?
yeah,
There's no way in hell.
yeah.
You
That,
get too much survivability. There's too much survivability in it. You don't need the
I
Golem.
mean, fair, fair. You're not wrong, especially on monster maps.
Exactly. So it's irrelevant. And if I can get the 45% damage constantly,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, the
true.
skill is useless, but I'm getting 45%. So
Yeah,
the
yeah,
skill is
but
worth it.
walk up to any human and you're dead. Like that's the thing
I
is
mean, they'll be dead. I mean, oh yeah,
you'll
that's
be
good to
dead.
test though.
Like
That'd be good to test. I'm
it's
curious.
easy to die. Like it's very easy to die.
I will
So
test it. I will test it. Definitely. But it works. I'm not even gonna lie. It does 100% works.
My man's. Let's move on to the Armour Mod Buffs. I think this is just the universal buffs, right? So universal buffs, Armour Mod section. Personal space will have its damage bonus increased from 15 to 25%. It's hot. I'm gonna say that right now. I tested a few builds with my Trickster with this new damage boost, and it's hot. Previously in my Trickster build, I would say that shotgun shells is just the way to go, right? Because personal space gives you 15%, but you have to be in that close range. But now, I just see it literally as another Captain Hunter, and I can't ignore that, right? Like basically having another form of Captain Hunter in your build with personal space, as long as you're using a close ranged character, I think it's just like it's the mod to go to. Like you can't not put this mod in your build. I was doing more elite damage than I've ever done. Like I went to Dr. D, and even without Time Rift, I was blasting the guy, man. I tested a few situations. Ubiquitous, unfortunately, no. I don't think Introvert is even worth a look because you're just replacing a mod to use Introvert, just to give personal space a bit more oomph or just your close range damage. And I don't think that's going to be worth it, in my honest opinion. I'm sure I could do more testing on it, but
you're right,
I won't like it.
You're trading the value of basically a skill node into a mod, which is never equal.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, and the fact that it's a T3 mod is kind of hilarious in my opinion. It's probably one of the worst T3 mods in the game. But that being said, personal space is hot. If you're not using it on a close range build, especially your Trickster right now, you need to. Or any close range damage build that people run, like, Firepower Pyro as well as a close range damage build. If you're running Firepower Pyro, 100% you need this in your build, personal space, because the damage is hot. Crit stack will have its anomaly power boost increased by 21% from base 5.79 to 7. Honestly, haven't tested this, so I personally can't comment on it. I don't think it's game breaking or game changing
it's
in any way.
It's just a small number change on something kind of inconsequential.
Yeah, it's a buff, so we'll take it, right? Stand Tall will have its base firepower bonus increased by 20% and its base anomaly power increased by 16%, from what it was before. Level 10 firepower and 15 alarm power to 12 and 17.5 anomaly power. If you don't have another mod to use, Stand Tall is now better, but there's still better mods to use in any build or any full game end game build. So Stand Tall is still pretty, as far as end game goes, you don't want to use it. But if you don't have any other mod, like for a budget build, Stand Tall is a bit more crispy now because it got a buff. So can't complain either. For Perseverance Shield, have its shield value increased by 40%. I honestly haven't even touched P-Shield just because all the Borealis changes. So I'll have to go back and actually test this, especially the bug where P-Shield could trigger and grant shield after death. I don't know if anybody in the chat or anybody in the call here right now has tested P-Shield. I personally haven't, but I want to, maybe before I do some Diablo 2 Remastered later today, I'm going to hop on Outriders and do some runs with my previous purple build and put P-Shield back on and test it out because I think it's worth looking at. But that being said, the other two doesn't matter. Blazing Aegis and Plague Dodger. Weapon mod buffs. Anomaly enhancements will have its coefficient increase from 30% anomaly power to 40%. Great buff to anybody that wants to run the anomaly enhancement build on your rifle. You get 10% more anomaly. You get 10% more coefficient increase from 30 to 40%. I don't know if this will make those builds viable too much, but it, in terms of like having that drastic of an increase, but a buff is a buff. And just to touch back on the topic that was kind of discussed about how I think AoE damage is undervalued in this game, I would still honestly always preferred to do AoE damage when possible. But if you want to do like, a different build, just like, with the Borealis where there's not that much AoE, I mean, a 10% buff, you're always going to take it, right? Like personal space, 10% buff, fucking, I'll take it. It's max. And Ubiquitous says Anomaly Enhancement is noticeable for sure. I tried it out. Okay, bet. I'll honestly have to try out Anomaly Enhancement builds just to see how they feel on Techno. But I'm probably just going to always revert back to my old Bone Shrapnel ways because speaking of Bone Shrapnel, it did get a 5% increase. Was it noticeable for me personally? I didn't really notice it because, you're blasting.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna
Yeah.
agree there. Honestly, did they buff it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. I really don't know if they buffed it or not. Or I know how we were like, oh, lol, they're buffing Bone Shrapnel. But if
I
the
mean, it just
5% is
proves
there,
that-
great.
right?
It's just so
proves that
good.
It doesn't need it, right? It doesn't need
Yeah.
the buff because we didn't even notice it. So.
But that's all we'll talk about as far as the patch notes goes. We discussed a few important things about the multiplayer experience and a few inconsistencies with the Devastators. But other than that, I do want to end off this segment by saying PCF did honestly a great job with this patch. It is the best patch that this game has had. And if more future patches look like this, minus that multiplayer hiccup there, I think we're in a good spot. And I don't care if it takes them 3 weeks to a month to release another patch, to be honest. But they should still do slightly more testing because that multiplayer thing is kind of huge. But, that aside, if they can get that fixed quickly enough, great patch overall. Thoughts on the patch, though, for Capo, Maffeine, and Big Daddy?
I mean, really, after going through the level 30 accolade grind, I just kind of went back to my pyro and hung out on there for a bit. But the Ash Blast change definitely noticeable. Really like that. And the multiplayer, yeah, the teleports, the desync and stuff is definitely hinders the experience of wanting to team up with people. So yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, I think it was a great patch overall, but really hoping they do a bit more testing in the next patch and hopefully they can fix up this desync pretty quick.
Yeah, even if it takes another week to release, I'm for it.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I will internally just be like, darn, I wish it could be out sooner, but I think that's everybody in any game with any patch. So thank you for still working on the game. Capo, your thoughts on the patch?
We put that on the table.
Put that on the table. Big Daddy, your thoughts on the patch?
What do you mean, Capo?
What
He
is the
has a
thing
topic
that
to
I'ma
talk
bring-
about. He has a topic to talk about.
Okay, right. Okay, you mean
Yeah,
after? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like you said, it's a step in the right direction. We're just hoping for better quality at this point, right? Because if a patch brings a problem that's worse than the fix that they put on, right? It's kind of like one step forward, two steps back. So I mean, like I said previously, just wait more, guys. Just wait more, and like it's better if the patch just works perfectly than than we get these weird bugs added on, and you know. So I pray for better patches in the future.
Yeah. But to kind of expand on that real quick, it's really hard. PCF's in a tough spot. You wait, people will bitch and moan. You release, and this happens, people will bitch and moan. And it's not like we're bitching and moaning. We're being what's what I'm looking for here. We're kind of being like in the middle ground. There's a word that starts with C that I can't figure out. But we're not going on Reddit and being like, shit devs can't fix the game. Should have just waited while people were bitching, saying shit devs fucking release the patch kind of stuff on Reddit by me. I'm not even like sugarcoating this. These posts were just all over Reddit, right? So PCF is in a state where you delay it, you lose, you release it, you lose. So at this point, all I have to say is keep doing what you're doing and just ignore everybody bitching and moaning, and eventually
I
they'll
was
get their
gonna
game.
say at some point doesn't really matter if they wait 2 months or whatever for the next patch, right? Like there's only so much they can do, so they're probably working on the content, So from my point of view, it's better if the patch comes, right before the new DLC, and the DLC is perfect, everything works perfectly, right? Well, as perfect as they can make it work. I feel like that's a better outcome than just constantly doing questionable patches.
That being said, Capo, we can move on to your topic, and I will give you the floor because I know you've been itching. And to everybody who stayed around for some juiciness, I don't know if it's going to be juicy or anything like that. Capo, take it away.
Oh my god. So it's definitely one of the biggest. Well, it became a pretty huge topic yesterday. Honestly, yesterday after just seeing a lot of things. Obviously, my PC was down, not yesterday, oh, but Thursday also. So yesterday and Thursday, just seeing a lot of it, and it kind of dawned into my mind, like, Jesus Christ, man, like, we're not realizing the biggest factor, and it's something that you said earlier, you PlayDoh, um, and I'm just gonna say, like, PlayDoh, Math, Big Daddy, Dhawson, Palm, the whole community will be like, like, I appreciate you guys and I love you guys. I appreciate everybody that's still even sticking with the game. But I'm gonna just be frank with y'all. I honestly 100% don't think anyone has an excuse to say anything about the game, and this is why. Because if you complain about the game, and I've said this plenty of times, come to me and I would get it situated for you. Okay? And no one has, except for one person. And thank God, that I wasn't too busy, and I want to bring it up. And I was in Maffeine's stream, and there was this guy, and he was complaining like, "Hey, this is messed up. I'm on Xbox." So I kind of saw it, and I went ahead and I asked the question. I went ahead and I found the details for him. And I kind of sit back, and I waited to see if anybody was going to say anything to me. And Matt, I want to say what, like an hour and a half went by before I said something in your chat, if I'm correct. Right? I said something. The kid was there, right? The kid was there. Mav said, "Hey, this and that, and this." Did I answer his question? Did I give him I answered his question, right? I gave him the answer. I told him, I said, if you have any more issues, send me all this information, DM me. The kid DMing me, the guy DMing me, and he gave me everything I needed. I'm waiting for a follow through with him. I'm waiting for him to respond back to me. Hey, yes, it did work. No, it didn't work. Whatever the case may be, I did a follow through. Here's where I'm going with this. I was sitting in, I always lurk, and I was watching PlayDoh stream, and they was talking about what's wrong, what this is wrong, what that was wrong. It's something, it didn't bother me, it didn't upset me, but it's like, Dhawson, Big Daddy, and PlayDoh were talking, and they were like, this is wrong, blah, 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 but how much do we know what Capo is saying to them? If he's really even saying anything to them. I said, damn, and Maffeine, you could attest to this. There's a lot that I bring up to them, right or wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how much do I get response back? My response are pretty quick, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we'll go take a step. Like when I brought up the statue set, right? How it works. Weapon damage only works for the player, and weapon leech only works for someone else, right? So I brought that up to them literally the very next day, and I'm going to verbatim to what they tell me. Good morning. All right, thank you for raising that question about the statue set last week, Capo. I'll be discussing this with the team further now, but here's the latest that I've heard back. Any thoughts from anyone here, please? And then I'm going to end it there because I'm probably messing with myself. But I'm willing to go to this extent because as a community, you guys don't utilize your assets. But you're really big. You're quick to bitch, moan, and complain about what doesn't work, what hasn't worked. But how many times I have sat here and told the community, if something is fucked up, tell me. I'm going to go to my Discord right now. And I'm going to go to the discrepancy channel. That's under Outriders. The last time someone put something in there is July 19th. Why are you complaining, community? Content creators, why are you complaining? Let me take it another further step, right? I'm going to take it another further step for y'all, okay? PlayDoh, right? You said, hey, we should have somewhere to go. We should have an avenue of approach. But you brought up Endless Mass, did you not?
I did.
Okay. Yesterday at 9:30 a.m., Endless Mass seems to have a hitbox issue. It takes damage because when we tested it, we used Moaning Winds and it caused damage 100% of the time. The issue was when you used a weapon. We'll be doing more testing today. but I wasn't able to do it because why? Because my PC went down. Look
Yep.
at the response that I got. Just heard
Yep.
back. Endless mass inconsistency hitbox is already on our track issue. And it's slated, and I'm going to stop there. Because you know why? I am very proactive for this community. I am very proactive for everybody that plays this game. But what bothers me the most is that you guys don't utilize your assets, but you're real quick to bash the fucking game. I'm gonna take it
That
an
is
even
true.
further step.
That is true.
I'm gonna take it a further step. I was in your stream when you talked about the rubber banding and you took it. Guess what Capo did? Capo took your Reddit and DM'd him personally and said, "Hey, take a look at this."
My man.
So you got a response because of why. So in
My man,
order for
Capo.
Dhawson, Big Daddy, Palm, and anybody to say that this is bullshit, they should do this, they should do that, are you coming to the source? You're not.
That is true. I mean, I
Hey,
can't
by the way,
fault Capo here.
did they fix the ammo mods yet?
Yeah.
Are you
Okay. Well.
coming to
Okay.
the source?
sorry.
And this is what I
No.
say,
No.
people.
Capo. Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. Don't tell me while I'm streaming, "Hey, Capo, this is what's wrong with the game." I have a discrepancy channel because this is how it works. I cannot go to PCF and say, "Hey, this doesn't work." Okay? I can't tell them that because they're going to be like, "Okay, when did it happen? Who it happened to?" They have questions, and I need to be able to answer those questions. So if you tell me something's wrong, right? You put it in the discrepancy channel. You know what my job is? Now I'm going to DM you. I'm going to ask you several questions. First and foremost, are you on PC or are you on console? If you're on console, what console are you on? Third of all, are you solo or multi-playing? Fourth, are you the host or are you non the host? These are questions that I need to ask you. You know what I'm saying? I
Yep,
need
yep.
to ask because they need to replicate these things in order to ensure that these things, you know what I mean, are going to get
Yep.
fixed or how to fix them. They have to replicate them so they find the source of the issue. But if
Capo.
you guys are just going to sit there and give me a list and say, "Oh, Capo, this doesn't work. Hey, Capo, that doesn't work," and I submit that list to them, they're going to look at me and they're going to be like, "Yeah, I'm not going to listen to this ambassador anymore."
Capo, can I interrupt you for a moment?
Wait. I mean,
No, please.
I mean, that's what you just said
I
is
just
like,
wanna say-
specifically to me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being a point of contact for everybody that actually does what you're saying just now.
But yeah,
Oh, that's
Capo's like, I think Capo's 100%
you.
right here.
Wait.
I
mean,
agree, he's
I just
100%
wanna
right, and I
wanna say,
appreciate
like,
he's
the
done
game
for
has
the
been broken
community. Thank
for a long ass time, right? There's a lot of
Mhm.
bugs that we've pointed out that haven't been fixed,
Agreed.
and like, I know you're telling us that we need to use you, but like, what?
What do you mean, what?
I mean, I need to use you. Why would I like? Don't I have other avenues where I'm
Okay,
not
you do.
speaking
You
through a
do
third
have.
party program to
Yeah,
like?
I think the bigger
Like-
point Capo is making, Big Daddy, is like there are other avenues, but the other avenues suck.
Exactly.
And
Sure,
and
is
you know
that my
what?
fault? Is that like? Is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
my
that's true. That's
fault,
true, Capo.
or-
I was gonna say I
Not
agree with
only
you, but I was
that,
gonna add a but to it as well.
But hey, let
like
me
I'm
let me
pointing
finish
at a
off.
direction. What you want me to fucking do the testing as well? Like
Oh,
fucking,
hold on.
I should
you-
take a flight to Poland and test it for them.
No, no,
over
no, no.
there?
But see,
Like,
this is where you do not understand because I have a question for you now, real quick, off the top of my head. Have you ever worked in developing a game?
I did not. No.
Okay, so right there, you need to stop because here's the issue that you need to understand. When they test a game, they may have probably the most souped up PC, and the person that they tell probably in San Francisco, they might have the best souped up PC. They might have a 3090, what is it? Ryzen 5950.
Ryzen, Capo. I'm gonna
Ryzen,
stop there.
yeah.
Ryzen, come on, bro. Oh my
I'm
god.
sorry, but Ryzen or an i9 11700 FK, they're not gonna test it with a rinky-dink PC. Here's the second part. They're not going to test it with somebody that gets a 300 download internet because they got business internet. So when they test it, they're testing it in the best scenario. So when they give it to us and we're like, "Yo, this isn't working," they're like, "Holy shit, okay, maybe I need to tweak something that I did fix because it may work for some people, but it just doesn't work for everybody. And that's with every game because that's how it works with every game.
Well,
Yeah, but I
sure,
also have to agree with
my
what Big
point was
Daddy is
just
saying,
like,
right?
my
Yeah,
point
yeah, go
was
ahead. You can
just
do it.
like, at some point, it feels like we're speaking into the void, right? Like the ammo mod bug, which
Mhm.
caused a lot of drama, by the way, in this directory, right? And
Mhm.
it's probably still working as we speak. Didn't test it
Still
'cause I
working
don't
as we
care
speak, by the
anymore.
way.
Yeah,
Mhm.
still working as right. Like that's just an example, right? But it's
Mhm.
just to show that, like, at some point,
Mhm.
the avenues are obscured, obfuscated, and it's like, is it my fault that I'm not using them, or is it because the devs haven't put them up for me, right? Like,
Yeah, so
I'm doing
Capo,
my
hold on.
best
Can I go
here,
real quick?
right?
Can I go real quick?
I'm doing my best to tell you the problems I see and test them myself, but I'm just one guy with limited time and just one my characters and my items. Like, I don't have the access to the game data and like making items and whatever.
But if
I
you
need
have
to.
access to the guy that has the access, why wouldn't you talk to that guy?
Well, no, but it's like, what you want me to like? Just
No, no. So here,
I
let
get
me
the bug
just go on this
report,
really quick
right?
here.
And it's like I need him to ask me the questions, right? The fucking
So
devs
Capo,
ask me the
like
questions.
what Deli says is just on point, right? You're the go-to guy if you want to document something and then fast track the issue, which I think Deli said that 100% at the time. But for the casuals that notice this, that's not part of your Discord, that doesn't know anything about Twitch, doesn't know about your discrepancy, right? What are they gonna do? How are they reporting these bugs? They probably
And
aren't.
and they probably don't know how to do
And
it.
they probably go to Reddit. And let me bring this up. I actually saw a post on Reddit yesterday about the desync bug that wasn't mine. And they went to a thorough, like it was thoroughly laid out. I didn't really read it. It just looked really thorough. But they made a great point. Why am I spending like 4 or 5 hours to document this issue, right? When it's up to the game devs to make sure that they did their due diligence to track that. And what Big Daddy's saying is also true here too, right? Because Capo, we did go to you, and this is not me bashing you or anything, but we did go to you about the ammo mods and all the exploits we can do with it, and that has resulted into absolutely nothing. But however, that being said, I'm just saying I personally have forgotten about the discrepancies tab because I'm just scuffed as fuck and always blazed 100% of the time, and that's on me. But for all these bugs, like moving forward, like the the rubber banding or anything that we come up to, I'm gonna 100% put it in a discrepancy track to get it fast tracked. But with
So
that all that,
Sure,
but
sure,
with
but at
that
some
said,
point,
right?
at
Yeah,
some
So
go ahead,
point,
Big
I
Daddy.
feel like there's only so much we can do as players.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the biggest point I want to make here. Is like, I know of these bugs. I've experienced them in plenty of situations, but like to come and like start asking me, which map were you playing? What was the timer at? What platform was your co-op partner on? I have no idea about any of those things. So like,
that's
sure,
that's
you
false. That's false. You can't tell me that you don't know if you were playing multiplayer or not. You can't tell me that you can't tell me if you were a host or not, and you cannot tell me that you do not know if you're on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. Because that's all I need. That's all I need. I'm not asking you for timestamp. I'm not asking you for anything. All I'm asking you is basic questions. What console?
no. I mean, I agree, but the problem then is, right, I've got a list, right, that I'm just keeping in the back of my mind, and I don't know it like exactly, right, of the bugs that I do know in the game.
Right.
But it's like, I
I,
know if you ask me about X bug, maybe I'll have some information for you. But if you just ask me like what bug, like give me some bugs, like I don't know, I'll give you some vague information. But for like concrete bugs, you need to
yeah.
ask me the question because I don't have the
Right.
context that they have.
But so this is where I would go in further details, right? Like PlayDoh said, "Oh, we came to you about the ammo bug." Okay, I can talk to you all day, every day, right? You can tell me, "Hey, this is this
Yeah.
bug." All right, cool. And I'm gonna tell you, and I know I've said it before. All right, DM me, send me a message. I got you. If you don't do it, then if it's not
Well, yeah,
serious
Capo.
for you,
Yeah. Well, it's
then
not
it's
that.
not
Like, I've
serious for
DM'd
me.
you about this. I'm pretty sure I've DM'd. And if I haven't DM'd you about this, why didn't
Yeah.
like? And to put it back at you, why didn't you take the initiative to DM the devs about this? Because issue has
So
been
here's the
reported by
thing.
Nick 2. Here's the thing: Nick 2 reported this issue. I don't know if he directly
Yes, he
reported
did.
to the community manager, but I think he did. I reported this
I think
issue.
he
You want to
did.
know how many times? You want to know how many times I reported this issue? multiple times on the Square Enix support forums. You know what I got back? A generic email. I can pull it up, but I don't want to expose my email and anything like that. But I got a generic email, just a generic, like a blurb. A blurb. I work for customer support, and I know when they're just sending a copy and paste it to me. A literal generic blurb that said, "We're looking into it. It's been 4 months. Still broken. Cause drama in the subreddit, etc., etc."
And once again, I could tell you, be like, "Hey, I've been told about this. I don't know too much details." But you have to understand that in a different aspect, and maybe that's something that they just overlook, and they're like, you know what, fuck that shit. We're just gonna leave it there. It's not on our top priority list.
Well, okay. If they're saying fuck that shit, okay, listen, Capo. Listen, here's the thing.
Did they fix it? They broke it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Capo. If they don't give a shit about it, right? If that's what you're saying, like, okay, whatever, they don't care about it, then why am I? Okay. But here's the thing. From my perspective, it's been 4 months. They've done nothing about it. Why wouldn't I want to post a bill saying you can do this? Right?
I mean, you can
instead, and to really optimize, like, if you want to break the game and if you want to speed run or whatever in this kind of capacity, right? To where you can never lose ammo and never lose ammo on crits or anything like that. Why wouldn't I just go on YouTube? I mean, there's plenty of videos about this, but I'm not going to do it personally. But like, what, like, why can't I just do it? Yeah, what's stopping me, right?
Because you probably have morals. I mean, that's personal.
I mean, I technically don't have morals because I was like advertising the shit out of this build in the beginning, right? But I didn't want to go to YouTube about it and let, like, people do that kind of stuff. I'm just saying.
That's like the division when something comes up and they tell people, like, okay, like the speedrunners, right? There's a hack where you could do and you can, like, leave doors open and everything, so you don't lose time opening doors, right?
Yeah.
Is that a bug? Yes, it's a bug, right? But it's like, are you gonna sit there? You're gonna flaunt it? I mean, nah, because you don't want nothing to happen to it, right? You want people to keep running. It's just one of those things that it comes up to you at that moment. It's personal. Yeah. Hey, do I think it's right? No, I don't think it's right. So I'm gonna say this and that.
I mean, the real question is why aren't they mentioning it, right?
Right, and then, but when we talking about, right, and when we talking about, and this is what I'm saying, when we talking about legit things, that if you're sitting here, right, if you know Capo, because I truly understand.
Yeah, I get that too.
But if you know Capo and you're upset about something, why don't you just bring it up? Why don't you just DM, yo, Capo, listen, boom. You know, it's even quicker. Let's just say Maffeine is streaming. Maffeine can say, okay, this was fucked up at like around 3 hours on my stream. Got it. I'm on it. Yo, Capo, at 3 hours in my stream, check this shit out. Whatever. I don't know the details about it. Then I could go in there because I can help people. I want to help this community. I want to. But I understand that if you go through Reddit and you go through the Square Enix support, it's going to get lost in translation. They're not going to hire somebody to sit on Reddit all day and be like, okay, this is valid. Okay, this is valid. The Arkin is not gonna sit there and be like, okay, this is valid. Oh, he's gonna get tired of reading a bunch of negative shit, and he's gonna be like, all right, what about this? All right, cool. All right, we know about this. Cool. And what I'm trying to do for y'all is, if they know about something, I want to be able to have a list also and say, hey, they know about it. That's why I cut you off when you said something about Endless Mass. Don't worry about it. They know about it. We're on it. Okay, the next thing, let's say tomorrow or later on you're playing the game and you're like, Capo, hey, you send me a DM, guess what? Or if I'm watching your stream, I can say, hey, bro, they know about it. Because guess what that does for the community? That lets us know that we're on par with them. They're not going to give us a fucking list and letting us know, like, hey, this is what we're aware of, this is what we're not aware of. But what I don't want happening is, don't bitch, moan, and complain about a fucking, this is fucked up, that's fucked up. This is a bullshit. When you have an avenue of approach, you have one.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
I agree with Cap on that, Big Daddy, at least, because let's be honest.
I disagree.
Well, so for this here,
I do anything like that. I'm gonna be real. Like, should I care? Does it matter to me? Ultimately, like, I'm gonna just be like straight up real.
For me personally, Capo, it's
I'm allowed to vent. No, like,
vent, but please vent. But
well, sure, but like at the same time, it's like, I might go through the effort of like documenting it and trying to reach out. Like, I'm just gonna vent and move on. Is what I'm gonna do. Sorry.
But then,
okay, so
you're not being helpful then.
Yeah, from my perspective, though, Big Daddy, I see it from Capo's point of view. Okay, like, to be fair, like, we bitch and moan about the game, right? But we're coming from a good place. Maybe Dhawson's being a bit toxic. That's just Dhawson. But I do agree with Capo. Like yesterday, it didn't even occur to me, like during all the desync stuff, to just DM Capo in his Discord because I legitimately forgot about it, right? I actually went on Reddit and Capo had to grab my Reddit post to then send to the community manager or whatever. And then maybe that's why I got a response from the Arcan there. So what I should have done was made the Reddit post and just let Capo know so he's aware of it as well to do something about it. Because that's at least an avenue that we know about and we have for us, right? But then to come back to like the full circle again, Capo, the devs just need a really better way of avenue to report bug reports so more people actually do it. Just like an in-game bug report for sure, right? Because at some point, even I'm going to get tired of doing like having the avenue to reach out to you to fix these bugs just from their past track record of still not fixing bugs that I've directly reported to you and that kind of stuff. So in my mind, it's kind of like I want to help them out, but at the same time, I'm trying to help them out, but it's like they're not listening, that kind of stuff. So I see Big Daddy's point and, you know, and I see your point, but all in all, it's just a disconnect from just everything since the game's
I just think they have the same avenue of approach that all the other games have, where you just go to Reddit and you submit a bug report, and
that's just so bad, though, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's just
has the
so
same
bad.
But
And guess what happens?
Can I just add something
It
real
gets
quick?
lost. So
You
and
can.
I get it. I get it. Oh, real quick, Big Daddy. Real quick. I just think that at the end of the day, like, if you have, like, you know what I'm saying? If you got the plug to get a 3080, why won't you? Yo, hey, can I get the 3080 for 800? Do I really gotta pay 2,000? Nah, I got you. Let me know when you need it. I need it tomorrow. I got you. Boom. I go get it for you and I give you your answer. Why wouldn't you use it? That's all I'm saying, right? Instead of just being upset, why wouldn't you use that plug? Now I get it that everyone doesn't know about Capo, and I'm probably the only ambassador that still plays this game. I get it. I 100% agree with y'all, and I understand that. But you don't have to go. What I'm basically saying is you don't have to go to the Reddit and get it lost in translation, just like every other game. Do I think that shit sucks? I 100%. Because they're just going to look at it and they're going to be like, okay, yeah, we already know about this. Next. But are they going to respond to it? No, they're not going to respond to it. And everyone does it. All the games.
Big Daddy, yeah, before I let you go real quick, before I let you continue on the topic, like just going back to the in-game bug report stuff.
I mean, can I just add the point I wanted to add?
Go ahead. Yeah, you got it. Just go ahead. Sorry, just go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, specifically to Capo's point about me venting instead of reaching out. Like, it's not my responsibility in any form to go out of my way, like, you know, to explain the bugs or to document them. So, you know, I'm just saying, you know, if I'm venting and maybe I'm just telling it to you in some vague way, you know, sorry, but, you know, ultimately I'm not extremely interested in going out of my way to help fix the game. That's what I mean.
Okay. No, and that's fine. If you don't feel like the game, like, yo, I'm not gonna go out my way to fix it, then I would ask you, then why complain? Obviously, that's your right.
Yeah, well, I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
dirty
Yeah. But then I would just ask, like, yo, you don't care for this shit to get fixed, then why do you play it and complain about
it?
Yeah,
and Capo makes a good point too, right? Sorry, go ahead, Deli.
The game was advertised as completely finished.
True. Very much, yeah.
I'm sorry.
And cool,
to me, it was advertised as it is completely done. Not a live service game. So why are there so many bugs? Why is there so many issues?
Right.
That's my only argument against that. I did join your server though.
And like I said, I don't mind. I'm not saying people. I'm not trying to let me rephrase this. Let me make. I'm not telling you not to vent. I'm not telling you not to vent. By all means, please vent. Come to these streams and vent. Please do. I let Shiny vent like a motherfucker the other day.
Yeah, you did let Shiny vent like a motherfucker.
I saw that.
Yeah, I let Shiny vent.
Shiny
all about
vented hard.
Yes, he went in. But what I'm saying to y'all is this, though. It's okay. Let your frustration out. I'm with that. But if you're gonna continue to like bash, like at some point it's like, yo, you have a solution.
Capo, I wanna bring something up real quick that Cool mentioned to that point, right? He said he has plenty of right to vent, because he has spent 1,000 hours paying for the game and playing it, and he's
Right.
venting because let's be honest here, he has no more friends to play with now, without having the
Okay.
stream to be up. Okay,
Mhm.
that's
Yes.
because he started streaming in the first place because all his friends quit the game, right, and he had no one to play with. Which
Mhm.
I have to kind of agree with Cool too in a sense, because I had no friends to play with anymore
Mhm.
because they all quit the game. But that being said, right, for those of us that have spent the time with this game and have played
Mhm.
it, to fruition and whatever, and put in those
Mhm.
hours, yeah, I mean, just like every game, we're gonna vent and complain about it, right?
Please do.
Sure, is it constructive? Hell no. Is it like sometimes borderline not necessary what we say? Probably, but we're just
Yeah.
frustrated because we fucking love the game so much,
Ex-
right? And
and I'm
and
with
I
you.
want Maffeine to
I
talk
mean-
right here real
Oh, for
quick
sure.
before you go.
Okay.
Because Maffeine brought up a good point here, and I think it's amazing. But one person
Okay,
being the
okay.
plug, I think that's a community issue. There needs to be more sources, and I cannot agree more with that.
So-
Bread Truck, I'm working on that. I'm working on that. Trust me, I'm working on that.
And I know
Go ahead.
Capo is working on that, but go ahead, Maffeine.
So yeah, what Bread Truck said also kind of links to that, but like, and no offense, Capo, and I don't, yeah, like I don't mean this in any kind of way, but like, just like due to your early morning start time, that like I'm sure there might be some people that aren't aware of you, right? And like,
Yep.
so they don't know to go to you, but that is
Right.
also on us to say like, hey,
No, it's not, because it's not your responsibility to promote me. But keep going.
not promote you, but as far as like your discrepancies channel, so I mean that's
Yeah.
something that I can do as a creator. Like if someone has a
Right.
problem, I can have like a command, like, hey, check
Right.
this out. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like that is definitely a problem, and it's not really anyone's fault that all these different ambassadors quit the game. Like they make a living doing it. They for a number of reasons why they all left, but that is definitely a problem. It's like
Yes.
you having to be the one person, like that's
That's an
just
issue.
shitty in general. Yeah.
I agree with you, and you more than anybody know that I've been trying to. Matter of
Mhm.
fact, you know what?
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah, can I just say actually, just to bring it back again to that? Sorry,
go ahead.
but yeah, I was gonna say like, maybe what we should try to do instead is like the developers have like problems that they're not sure about, and they ask us for clarification. Maybe
Yeah.
something like that could be better because like I said, the problem I have is I've got this list of bugs here, but how to recreate them perfectly when they happen, all that, I'm kind of lost.
Yeah. So and like I said, I'm probably gonna step out of line here, but Maffeine knows for a fact that I've been working. Like I've been working to definitely make him and PlayDoh a motherfucking ambassador. Okay, I have, and I might be stepping out
Brett
of my line, but you know what? At this point, I'm okay with that
Brett
because
Trek also makes a good point real quick, just to go on that. He's like, they need to include people who have said bad things about the game along with the good. And I agree with that 100%. To a limit, of course, right? You can't, there's other, ambassadors themselves and content creators that just bash the game for no reason. But we only vent in frustration because we love the game, and we have plenty of positives to say along with the
So-
few negatives. So
and I'm gonna even go on a step further. And math, a test, you can rock with me on this one. How many times have I asked you to have Boz come talk to me?
Oh, a number of times, yeah.
And Boz hasn't come and talked to me. But you know what I tried to do? Because he's in here. Boz, I try to utilize you and your app to try to upgrade it and use possibly your app to like say, hey, testing things. And I've introduced it. But you've never like he's never ever even come like towards me. So I was like, all right, the guy he probably ain't even that serious about it. Okay. Like leave it alone.
Huh.
I've been trying to put as many people as I can on to help with this community.
You've
I've
seen his
even
app, right?
Yeah, I've even introduced Dhawson and Big Daddy, and they never know this because I never told them about it. I'm like, listen, I got two guys that play this game endlessly in and out, and they literally play it to break the fucking game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They play it to break it. I think that if we kind of brought them in, not as even as ambassador, but as testers. Hey, before you release the patch, hey, open it up, let them look at it. Let them just sit there for fucking 12 hours and destroy the shit and give you feedback. and say, hey, you know what? This is what was wrong with this and this
Bro,
and
the
this and this. And this.
stagger bug would
Yeah,
have never went in the game if that was the
I'm
case.
telling
Yeah,
you.
that is the. Speaking of the stagger bug, I don't know who was the first person to notice this. I'm gonna say it was me because I noticed it immediately on that first Stargrave run. There's a Siler had a clip of it. I was
mean,
like, what
we
the fuck
noticed
is
it
going
together,
on?
okay?
Yeah, we noticed it together. Sorry, trying to take credit. I'm out.
No. But I mean, you're right. Like you,
I'm
I
trying.
started.
No, I'm just
started
memeing.
speaking about it. I started speaking about it, and then you confirmed it, and it was like, okay, yeah, it is a thing.
You know, let me tell you, man. I try to put like because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, and the community is here. You know why I'm doing this? Because if something happens, right, and I don't want to. This is where I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want to say too much. But if something happens, and your eyes open up, and you're gonna be like, "Holy shit!" and I'm gonna be like, and you see that my reaction is not the same as your reaction because obviously Capo knew something. If it happens, right? When people come back, I don't want the people that left the game to get the love. I want the people that grinded to get the love. And I said this last podcast too. Check
Yeah,
out PlayDoh.
that's not gonna happen,
I know
probably.
it's not gonna happen, but you know what? It's gonna take everybody here that made it happen up to another level. So if Maffeine was averaging 100, 120 fucking viewers, I bet you if I get him the love and I get him in the position that he needs to be in, I bet you he's gonna go to 200 viewers. I bet you if PlayDoh, right, that gets maybe 50, 60 viewers, I bet you PlayDoh will be over 100 because there's certain avenues of approach that he's already. I hooked him up. I put him in the limelight and it's gonna take him a little bit better, right? It's gonna take him to a whole nother level. Are we gonna shut those people down? Hell no, we never are. We're never gonna shut down Nick 2, Solid FPS, fucking all these other cats. We're never gonna shut them down. They have their community. People know where to go to. But I bet you that these people right here are not gonna go to them. I bet you if I put Balsified on and his app and all this shit, and I start bringing people can fly up to the light, they might call that motherfucker and be like, yo, we want to talk to you personally because there's more things that we can introduce to your app, right? Maybe you and Dhawson could be more of an inside guy. You don't even got to be in the ambassador program, and that'll help the game so that when people go forward, you know what I'm saying? And we all benefit for it. Are we gonna get 1,000 viewers off of this? Absolutely not. I guarantee you we're not. But I bet you our names are gonna ring bells. And I bet you this game is gonna be in a different limelight because we love this game so much.
I
And
mean,
that's what I'm trying to do.
that's very, that's very optimistic, but at the same time, I do agree. Like, I think our names are already ringing bells, even though that's a bit egotistical, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're not wrong. Like, even if people barely care or they click one time and immediately click off, right? When the game starts back up and gets some steam, who knows what happens?
Right, but who's
Well,
gonna
think
have that
about it.
insider? Who's
All
gonna
of
have that
us,
inside stuff? Right?
we
The
join
people,
any Outriders channel, and everybody in that channel is like, "Hey, how's it going?"
right? But how many people are the same people in everybody's channel?
At least 40, because I've only
I
got
don't know.
165 viewers, and I have 30 viewers on average. So
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I have 0 viewers on average.
Yeah. So I just
You
just to
don't
go
you don't do
back to what I
carries,
was
Big Daddy. Stay wrecked.
so just to go back to what I was saying is at the end of the day, I am trying to help the community more than the community even knows, right? I'm even trying to get the guys that you love in the position that I am in.
I mean, Capo, I will say this. Like, maybe you're taking it too much to heart. I'm gonna be honest. Like, we
well, he's
probably
expecting
we
everybody
probably
to know who he is and know what he's
No,
doing.
no, I'm not
no, but I'm
expecting
just
that.
I'm just
I
saying, like,
just now knew that you had a Discord with a channel to where we could report bugs. Just now.
I would tell
I'm
you
just
this.
saying, like, when me and Plato and Dawson are memeing on stream and saying a bunch of bullshit, like, don't take it too much to
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
heart.
yeah.
You know
Also,
what I
yeah,
mean?
don't take
I
that to
want
heart,
you
Capo, with
guys
that
to
too. Yeah,
meme
Like,
because we
because
are memeing hard.
no, I
we'll
want you
flame
to meme.
people that we love, like, we'll say
Yes.
dumb things about people we love, like.
I mean, we flame each other constantly, like
No,
borderline
no.
psychopathic constantly.
This is what I'm saying. Don't change who you are, and I'm not saying Mimi. But if there are issues, please bring them up because I want to fix them. Listen, I don't play the game as much as you guys do. Because to be completely honest, there's nothing left for me to do. There's nothing left for me to do. There's nothing left for you guys to do, but you guys are the definition of psychotic, right? You continue doing the same shit over and over again, right?
Don't
continue.
even try, okay? We get a couple seconds more, okay? That's different.
True.
But if there's something,
Capo, do you have the
that
chair? You've done everything in the game. Do you have the chair? Jester wants to know.
no,
Jester wants to know.
no, Jester, I don't have the chair because I don't
All right,
get
get your ass back in the game and get the chair.
No.
Nah,
There is
man.
I don't have any record badge. Lol.
Yeah, I'm not gonna create a trick. I mean, I'm not gonna finish my trickster to just grind him to get everything. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. There's nothing like honestly, I wanna go ahead and be like how most of the community feels. Hey, I've done all the CT15s. I've played all the classes that I want to play. Right? I don't. There's nothing else for me to do. I'm not gonna sit there and play a class that I don't want to play because everybody doesn't want to play Devastator. And let's be real, because PlayDoh, you don't even want to play Devastator, okay? But
I
wanna
I
play
made a Devastator. I made a Devastator because Capo. Eventually, low-key, I want the chair. So eventually, I want it.
Okay,
I
alright.
want it. I want it.
Oh no. I don't speedrun with anybody who has a chair, by the way.
But I gotta keep my sanity, so I want to be happy playing video games. So I venture out and do other things, but I will continue to update you guys. You know what I'm saying? I will continue to update you guys on everything that comes out. And PlayDoh and Maffeine knows that is 100% facts. I will continue.
Look, I just want to let this known to Wardy, and I am boosting my ego. Wardy, it's maybe the first time you've heard about me, but I'll have you know, I logged a spreadsheet since this game launched, okay?
Yes.
Since this game launched for about 1,800 runs. So I legitimately did about 1,800 carries. They were all carries in the span of about 3 months. Just boosting my own ego here.
Yeah, no, do it, man, do it, because you deserve it, because you're still grinding, right? And I'm all about you guys. I'm just saying this. What I wanted to say is this. The long story short is this. I don't care if you talk shit. Please vent. I want you to vent because after you vent, you feel better and you go back to the game, right? That's the outcome. But what I'm saying is, let's fix the game together, right? If something's pissing you off and you're that passionate about it, like, hey, how you doing? My name is Capo167. If you need a link to my Discord, you could just go over to my channel, right? Search Capo167, and you can click my Discord, you can join it, and you could go right in there, you can let me know what's wrong. I'm just gonna ask you some very simple questions, and I'm gonna submit it. Because if me fixing that issue is gonna get you to continue to play the game and not leave the game, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. 100%. That's what I want to do.
Jester, really?
All I hear is blah 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 blah. Let's go play Diablo 2. Good luck on Diablo 2.
Yeah, I mean, cool. Doesn't
That's what
really
I wanna
matter
do.
at the end of the day, right? People were gonna stop playing.
Oh yeah, because there's no content.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, you can't
Yeah.
blame X, Y reason for why people stop playing, because people will
Yeah, they're gonna play.
manufacture reasons to stop playing.
Yeah,
So like,
that is true. That is very true. That is very true. That is 100% true. Literally nothing to do anymore. I agree with you, Cool Running.
So we've been on the Capo topic for almost an hour. You got anything else going on?
fair. We've been speaking about this Capo thing. Yeah.
True. I lost my webcam again when I was pulling my desk down. I really need to figure out what's causing that issue. But
Oh,
I
what
think
the
it's a good.
fuck? I just realized
No.
that.
Yeah, I'll get it
Right.
fixed. Don't worry. I'm
Oh.
here just sitting on my chair now. I'll get it fixed in a second. But we can move to Q&A if we want to do that. And I know you had a question about the Q&A earlier. If you want to ask that again right now, you definitely can. If anybody has some Q&A,
Yep.
you could utilize the One Channel Point podcast Q&A thing that I've set up. But if you just want to ask in the chat, you definitely can.
Come on, Jester. Let us be D-gens.
It's going to take me a sec to fix the webcam because I'm like fixing a cramp too at the same time. So if anybody has questions, ask away.
How is Diablo 2?
Whoa!
That's
wrong
not
game.
an Outriders question, man.
Wrong
Oh.
game.
My bad.
It's fun though.
In seconds, but on that, it gets a clusterfuck. Yeah. Group play, you're saying? Pausify? Group play? Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, Buzz, you should try it in group play though, because it's more it's less horrible in group play.
Can't answer
But
that.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Baz. Like firepower dev is, you know, you rely so much on damage link to do damage. So yeah.
Mm. Damn, this is a lot of questions. Holy shit. When you next going to be doing carries? I don't know when PlayDoh's gonna be doing carries. That's on PlayDoh.
Sorry, you guys have to continue the show. This cramp is literally destroying me. So until I fix it,
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
be AFK here for a bit.
Okay.
I need to go get a drink. So BRB, lol.
Watch PlayDoh 2 hours and get a key, I think. Okay. That all right. Is there any plans to go away from P2P? I cannot answer that question. Grumpy old bastard.
As far as we know, no.
It's a monster killer looter slasher. Okay. 8 people can play at once. Oh, you're talking about Diablo. Okay. I don't game on PC.
It's not
only buy-
necessarily true, Jester.
Even if all the bugs are balanced and weapon gears are balanced, everything perfect, no one's coming back. Uh, I would say yes and no, Jester. There would be some people that left the game really early just because of the bugs. And they might come back and they might be like, because I get people to say, oh, I stopped playing because of this bug or that bug. Have they fixed it? If they fixed it, I will come back and play the game and finish it off. So I think you're wrong in that aspect as far as those people will come back and finish the game. But I think you're right for the people that still have completed everything that come into the streams and ask, are they things, is there anything left to do? No, I'm not coming back. So, you know what I mean? I think you're right. And at the same time, it's a yes or no.
I mean, like, Wardiest. I mean, I'll do a run with you right now if you want after the podcast.
Had everything shotgun, blah, 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 blah.
But I mean, I will say this about the people asking for the dead of the game. I mean, you can leave, right? Like, I don't want to try to sound too rude, but like, we're still having fun with the game out here. Like, we're still playing it. So why are you coming in here and trying to make us stop, right? That's how I feel about it.
I
I've
don't believe
just
that's even been rude personally.
I've
I feel
gone
that's
back
a
to the division.
good thing to say.
Yeah, I've gone back to the division and played. I've also gotten back to Destiny and played.
Yeah,
Oh
I've
yes,
kinda
I'm
gotten back
serious,
into this one.
Wardiest. If you want to play, I'm down. I'm down. I'm always looking to recruit new speedrunners.
Speedrunner recruitment boot camp coming back up. Ooh.
Oh, I like that question, Yuke. I like that. I like that question. You're not allowed to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I'm not saying take a break, right? I'm not saying you can't take a break. I took a break, but I'm just saying like, you know, somebody swoops in chat and says, "Oh, well, you still playing this dead game, bro? Why are you in the chat asking me that?"
Why are you watching the dead game? Why are you coming in here to watch the dead game? That's a good question to ask them in return, right?
Yeah, no, but I just think like, you know,
Yeah.
like I get how you're feeling, but I don't want to hear about it. I'm gonna be honest.
No, that's true though. Like I think the other day I was watching play the stream. Somebody literally came in the stream and said, "Are you still playing this dead game?" Like, what's the point of the comment? You know, it's like,
What's the point of the question?
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's just it didn't contribute anything. He literally came in and then left. I was just confused by that. You know.
Yeah, I
Doesn't-
get that. I get that question a lot, and I'm just like, if you don't like it, don't fucking watch me stream.
My
Yeah.
man.
Bozified it. Yeah, man. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
You mean the player-based thing?
Like, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be rude, but if you don't like the game that I'm playing, don't come to my stream. It's
I mean,
easy.
Like
Easy.
Palm said, it's not being rude. They are being rude, walking up in here like, you know, I don't want to call out people too hard, but like Jester or Spider, like, you know, straight up telling the game is dead. Like, just give us a break, buddies.
Yeah, Ubi, I would say that. I think that also. I think most of the player base is on Xbox because of the fucking Game Pass shit. I'm willing to gamble on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
To
that's
be
fair,
fair,
right?
I played
People
the dead
trying out the
game
game.
to help other people enjoy this dead game.
Wilson came.
Ooh, good point, Deli. Good point.
Oh
Dealing
yeah,
with
yeah.
The hard facts.
That is. I mean, people are still completing this dead game.
If there is somebody that wants help and I can help them, then it's
Or
not dead to me. Just saying.
I
You know?
checked 2 months later to see if anyone was still playing. I asked him, why is he still playing? Oh, you guys are saying, oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
supposed to be
exactly.
muted for this. We're still in Q&A. Has there been any questions?
Not really, no.
Nah,
And yet,
not
to,
really.
to,
I didn't
to
think so.
Spider's point, I'm not trying to, tell you to stop.
I-
I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, it's kind of annoying
Yeah.
/ rude to hear that over and over, right?
So I would tell you guys this, okay? Just be patient. I get it. How much longer I'm gonna be patient? How much long? Trust me.
Dude, 100%. I'll be patient as much as it takes. This game is
Yeah.
amazing. I don't
Trust
care
me.
if they just put out a Outriders 2 with no expansions or content for one. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think they shouldn't do that, obviously, like for very obvious reasons. But I do agree that I would also buy it instantly.
Yeah. Trust me. Trust
oh
me.
yeah,
Trust me. What they're
100%
doing?
pre-order as soon as it gets released.
Yeah. What they're doing? Trust me. It's
I mean, I definitely think it's worth it for them to gain back some trust, right? Release a
Yeah,
couple good
trust.
ass patches, release a little content, just make people
You're
more
gonna see.
faithful.
You're gonna see, man. This is when they're ready. But they're doing something. That you guys are gonna be like, a lot of this shit makes sense.
No, so Capo just playing coy now. I see how it is.
I'm just gonna tell you this. I get it, but if you see me not getting frustrated, like why isn't Capo upset that we didn't get a patch today? I know the reason why there wasn't a patch today. Because I know what's going on that's causing for certain things not to work. That
Oh,
I'm like, it's
100%,
okay.
man.
For
I don't get mad.
100%. 100%. Like I just know, and I'm like, yo, you don't want. I don't even care. Finish it. Oh,
What? I'm just like, hey, does anyone need help? No? Okay, I'll play something else until someone needs help. Until they put out new content. That's just my philosophy on
don't
it.
worry about it. I'm telling you, there's gonna be some stuff that you're gonna be like, oh, this shit makes
Oh,
sense.
I know, because they put it in small text in the top of a tweet. New content coming.
I mean, months ago, right?
I mean, I'm not.
Months ago that happened, no?
Okay, I'm not even. Yeah, I want. Okay, yeah, think about that. Okay, yeah, do
So
that.
yeah,
Yes,
like
yes, that.
if that happened months ago, then clearly they're working on it right now. Like I wouldn't see them not working on something right now.
Just. I mean, listen. I mean, I'm not even talking about that.
You
But
can't say nothing. That's all right. Don't
I
say
mean,
nothing.
I'm pretty sure that they're working on new content as we speak. Like pretty sure.
that's. We're not
Dude,
even
when
worried.
Square Enix says, hey, this is one of our main IPs, you know new shit's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this though, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out next year. Let's be real.
I mean, I don't care if it takes 5 years. I love this game.
Yeah, no, I mean, the only problem, right, with the game ultimately is if you don't have anybody else to play with, right? It's like the only
Yeah, but we
untimely
don't have to
death of the
deal with
game.
that, bro. We got PlayDoh's community, Maffeine's community, Tom's community, fucking McGlown's community. Like,
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, ultimately, if everybody stops, right, at that point, playing will be way harder.
true. I just don't see
Also,
that happening.
the game will just die, right? Like, it is a server-based game, so they will need to shut down the servers at some point, right?
No, this is a PDP game.
P2P.
No. It's the connection, the multiplayer is a peer-to-peer, but the actual game runs on a server.
Yeah, but that server does not cost them hardly anything because they made it peer to peer.
Fair. But I mean, it's still a server that's running, and that they will shut down if nobody plays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, considering Steam is probably like 10% of their total player base, I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. That's not happening in 5 years, for sure.
What the fuck is wrong with PlayDoh?
PlayDoh got lost.
Are
Dude,
you
Did
muted?
something
I'm
and he
I'm
just
here.
got
Yes,
lost.
I'm muted.
You've been muted the whole time?
Yes, I've been muted the whole time because my right toe on my right leg has been cramping like a madman, and I'm in grown man pain at the moment. It is the one left to my pinky on the
He's
ring
in
finger toe.
shambles. That's what
I'm in
happened.
shambles, so I'm trying to figure it out. It's kind of getting better.
Where do I end
Whip
this
up your
question and
chat.
answer topic, PlayDoh? Where do I end this?
I think it's pretty. I think it was done. I guess
Done a
when
while
the
ago.
Q&A stopped happening. We can just kind of
Okay,
ramble
so
on
just
for
call it
now.
right now.
Yeah, we can just ramble on for now.
Yeah,
if
he
you
needs
guys
to get
want
his
and
toe in
continue.
order. He needs to get his toe in order.
I mean, no, if you
All
guys
right,
want to still
this-
talk, please go ahead. Like,
All right,
if you
this
guys
is
are
the
still,
Maffeine segment of the stream. Everybody stop talking. Let Maffeine
He's
speak.
gotta get his toe fixed.
I'm still here. I love you guys all. Maffeine, take the floor, brother.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think we're done.